What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with you? You niggas are ass. What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Black man. Black man. Black man. Nigga. Black man. Black man. Black man. Nigga. Black man. Black man. Black man. Nigga. Black man. Black man. Black man. What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with you? You niggas are crazy. Black man. Black man. Black man. Nigga. What's wrong with y'all women? You niggas are crazy. And what's wrong with a black man? You niggas are crazy. What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Let me tell you something about niggas. You niggas are crazy. And don't expect me to act like you. I'm not one of you. No. Not only am I not an African American, but I'm not a black man.
Warning. The Drunken Peasants podcast is full of comedic exaggerations, independent thought, insensitivity, and other offensive content. We strongly urge all viewers and listeners to keep their brains in their skulls throughout the entire duration of this podcast. Failure to do so will result in immediate death. If you wish to support this podcast, there are several ways to do so. First, you can sign up for a free audiobook trial at audibletrial.com/drunkenpeasants. Audible is the foremost seller of audiobooks today with hundreds of thousands of titles to satisfy all manner of tastes. Second, if you shop on Amazon.com, please use the Amazon affiliate links in the description section of this video. Every purchase you make helps to support this podcast's existence. Third, please peruse our merchandise and see if any of it strikes your fancy. We sell a lot of t-shirts, so we must be doing something right. One more thing before I go. To make an official submission to the Drunken Peasants, whether it be a video for one of our sets, or fan art, or a picture of you wearing one of our shirts, or anything you think we might want to use on the show, that stuff needs to be sent to the Drunken Peasants Facebook inbox. Please do not send correspondence, as this will be deleted unread. With all that shit out of the way, it's time to begin the show.
Coming to you live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Hey man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist?
It's okay.
You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be light.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live.
Welcome to the Drunken
Fucking
Peasants
thing
podcast,
sucks.
episode 150. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
I'll fix it.
Smoke weed every day.
Interesting.
Yeah. We're outputting audio.
Cool. All right. I'm just not hearing us much in my headphones for some reason.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with that.
Strange. Whatever. Interesting.
I'm going to try to fix that really quick, and then we'll get the guests.
It's too fucking early, man.
It's not early, TJ.
It's too early. It's too early for life to even happen. There's sunlight out still. That's gross.
Let's see.
That's fucking disgusting.
It's still light outside, and that's gross.
Yeah, that is gross. Don't you think that's gross? You don't agree with that?
No, I don't. I usually wake up when it is light outside.
That's pretty disgusting.
All right.
That's all I'm saying.
So how's that sound? Is that better?
It's sounding better.
Okay, perfect.
I guess.
All right.
Yeah. Sweet. Get these faggots on here.
Okay.
Maybe Paul is actually still got a brain in his fucking head. I sure the fuck don't.
Why not?
Sleep deprivation.
Okay, what time did you go to sleep?
About an hour before I woke up.
Are you fucking serious?
Yep, I'm rolling on 1 hour's sleep, Ben. I'm rolling on 1 hour's fucking sleep. There they are.
Whoops.
There they go.
Dave Rubin, welcome to the Drunken Peasants podcast. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Drunken Peasants? How's it going?
Pretty. I'm disgusted, though. I'm disgusted that I have to be awake when there's sunlight out. It's not my natural time. It's not my natural habitat. The world of the
I
living.
got word that you guys are late risers.
Well, I am anyway. Ben barely sleeps at all, but you know.
Dude, I went to bed early to prepare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what people do, except for when your name's TJ. When your name's TJ, you just go to bed whenever the fuck you want, and then just hope you'll be able to get up.
Well, I'm here. I got here, so whatever.
Now, what level of drunkenness do I need to be at your level right now?
Well, since it's like morning or early afternoon or whatever it is.
It's called afternoon, TJ.
Yeah. Whatever time it is, since it's that time, I'm not drunk yet, so I guess sobriety is fine.
It's fine, but if you do want to have some drinks, feel free to do so.
Feel free to drink.
Maybe he's almost justifying me to drink right now. I'm like, Dave might want to be drunk.
Ben needing an excuse to drink? Shocking.
Yeah,
wow. All right.
Justification.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. No,
So I was gonna do this thing where I fucking mistook you for fucking Rick Rubin and ask you what it was like to work with Johnny Cash and stuff, but
I've heard it before.
I'm not even fucking with that. Whatever, you know.
Oh shit!
I was gonna try to come up with a Reuben sandwich joke or something. Paul, quit drinking your own piss. That's disgusting.
Dude, dude, Dave is drinking out of a fucking mason jar. I already like the guy.
Mason
That's how you
jars.
do it. Mason jar.
I drink out of mason jars too. So
yeah, I did notice that you do have mason jars.
I have mason jars as well. We're all mason jar drinkers, man. I'm starting to feel the unity here.
And I drink at it.
So, Dave, you got you just launched your Patreon, I believe. Is that right?
I did on Monday.
And you already had a lot of success on Patreon. But
yeah, I mean, we launched this thing on Monday. I had no idea. I had a sense we were going to do well, but I really had no idea. Are we going to find out 5 days later that I'm at, $4,000 a month and I got to pay 3 people's salary and pay for a studio and buy equipment? And, is my life just
it's looking
totally
pretty healthy right now. What is
it's
it?
Looking good. We cracked 18,000 last night, and we're in good shape. We're starting to build the studio. I was at Home Depot. I'm buying some of the wood and the stuff we need myself, and we got a great team. And I got a team of only 3 people that I'm working with, and they gave up their salaries to stick with me, the 2 of them, and their health insurance and their stability. So it's pretty awesome that the people are funding the operation. It's really cool.
That is cool. I'm a patron, I donate $6.66 a month to you because I'm an edgelord.
I saw the 666. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I'm always interested in this.
Damn
Like,
right.
what's the top level Patreon goal for you? What's the highest
top level?
Yeah.
So you mean the top we want to reach per month?
No. I mean like the per. Do you give perks per?
Yeah.
What's your top perk?
We're doing the perk thing. So the top perk that we have right now. So basically, we sold out of $100 ones. We did 20 $100 ones if you want to jump in a group chat with me once a month. We sold out of the 250s where if you want to do a Skype with me, a personal one-on-one Skype once a month. The top one is, we got so many here. We really worked hard to get this thing right. So the top level, you're officially a sponsor of the show, and you got to be a patron for 6 months. I will also fly you to LA. We'll have dinner at one of my favorite restaurants. And it's $3,000 a month.
Sold. Let me get my wallet.
You're gonna go. That's an expensive dinner for you, Paul. It's a very expensive dinner.
I know some good places.
There are some great places in LA.
I'm talking paparazzi. You'll see Frankie Valli, good stuff.
There we go.
All right, so let me subtly try to manipulate you into shit talking Cenk Uygur.
So, that was subtle as a brick shithouse right there.
That's about as subtle as I get.
Yeah.
Talk shit about Cenk Uygur. Go.
Listen, here's what I would say. I've been asked this 400,000 times, and
sure you have. I want to be the show that actually gets you to be like, you know what, guys? Fuck Cenk. fuck him in his big fucking ass. I don't care about him. He's a bitch. He backstabbed me. He double-crossed me. He's dishonest. He's a liar. You know, just laying some kind of tirade like that.
All right, so I'm going to start off soft, and then we'll ease into that.
Okay, cool.
What I would say is this. Look, when I went to work for this guy, and you guys know this, when you work for anybody or anyone that you're in any kind of relationship with, you want it to go well. That's the intention, right? If you start working for somebody, you want it to go well. And that's fully what I wanted. And I always thought my politics were on the left. I've always been a liberal since the first election I ever cared about, Michael Dukakis, running in 1988 when I was 12 years old in 8th grade. And I saw something really good with the progressives. And then about a year and a half in, just the epic cascade of bullshit, of nonsensical dishonesty, slandering, everybody that they disagreed with was a bigot or a homophobe or a racist or a sexist. There was always so much moral parading and, what now I like referring to as the oppression Olympics. There was just so much. But it wasn't even about politics, really, with him. What the final straw with me, and it was, defending the ideas behind the Charlie Hebdo people. I mean, really some terrible shit. But it wasn't even all about that. I'm sure you guys are well aware of the whole Sam Harris Batman thing on Real Time, of course.
Was it the Sam Harris debate with Cenk Uygur? Because that was the moment I turned against him, too. I was like, nope, fuck this.
Right.
This is the most intellectually dishonest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, so we can talk about that because that thing was just a travesty of epic proportions. But the night that Sam was on there, I didn't even know who Sam was. That's the truth. I didn't follow him on Twitter. I had sort of maybe heard about him, but I wasn't some fanboy or anything like that. I genuinely didn't know who he was. I heard him come out, and he lays out some Pew statistics. That's it. Nothing hateful. Clearly makes the distinction between ideas and people. Good shit, right? They throw out the gross and racist thing. The next day, everybody's going, is Bill Maher and Sam Harris a racist? Suddenly, Bill Maher, who's been the standard bearer of the left in America for 20 years, has to now defend himself as if he's a racist, right? So that the attack with Cenk began then, and then that 3-hour thing. Sam went in there with good intentions to clean up the mess after Cenk had said some pretty terrible things about him, and it was just such an epic 3-hour bludgeoning of stupidity. And watching someone who intellectually couldn't tie Sam's shoes, trying to pretend that he was smart, and he sort of admitted he had never even read any of Sam's books, and he didn't accept what probability theory was at one point, and just endless shit and garbage. And I was like, all right, I don't want to work here anymore. It really was that simple.
Yeah, I could feel you on that because I watched that and I was like shocked at how bad it was. And I mean, I don't even think Cenk is as stupid as that is the thing. I think that, I think he knew the points that were being made and was intentionally like obfuscating issues and shit. I mean, it seemed very like intentional because, I mean, he was basically just sitting there trying to say that there's no qualitative differences between books. Like there was like this very simple point that Sam Harris was trying to make is like, no, the Quran is actually worse than the Bible, and here's why, and here's why, and here's why. And Cenk had no actual argument against that. He's just like, well, they both have bad stuff. It's like, okay, but the stuff in here is worse. They both got bad stuff. It's like, oh, please.
Well, also,
Jesus.
look, we could dive into that. It's not even, for me, look, the books are all nonsense written by people.
Sure.
That's it. But it's not about what's in the books, although they are obviously different, and the moral equivalence on the left. Everything's equally bad or equally good, which is total bullshit. But to me, it's not about what's in the books. It's what the people who act on the books do. That's what it's about. I don't care what you believe, but if your belief is going to lead to beheading me or putting my sister in a burqa or, otherwise subjugating women and minorities and gay people and all that, then I have a problem with it. But real quick, just backing up, my issue wasn't that they had an argument. At all. I love arguments. We could argue about whatever you want, gladly. My issue was that he continually, not only in that interview, but for weeks after and weeks before, continually misconstrued intentionally what Sam said and repeatedly did it. And no matter how much evidence he was shown otherwise, including by me, he repeatedly doubled down. And that's not journalism, and it's not good, and it's not honest, and it's not anything that I want anything to do with.
Let's talk, switching gears, about the term liberal, because I watched one of your videos last night as I was doing research for this, where you were talking about the word liberal, and You were talking also about how that kind of pushed you away from the Young Turks, is the weird direction a lot of American liberalism has gone, to the point where, not only am I asked constantly, are you a conservative or are you a liberal? Like, that used to never be an issue for me. Like, people knew I was fucking liberal. Now it's like, are you conservative or liberal? Because we're not sure.
You look pretty liberal to me, for the record. This is not a conservative-looking guy.
No, I'm not. But it's just like they don't understand. Like when I take anti-SJW positions and shit, it's like, oh, so you're against the liberals. It's like, no, the liberals, just some of them went crazy. I don't know. They decided to go batshit and just fucking say, you know what? We have a long-standing tradition of respecting all opinions, but let's throw that in the fucking waste bin because Islam. Yeah. I don't know.
I watched the video that you did on the social justice warrior stuff, and it's fantastic. I mean, you clearly just laid down the law on that bullshit. So look, liberals, what is a liberal? I would consider myself a classic liberal at this point. And really all a liberal is someone who isn't totally wedded into an ideology and is willing to hear new information based on reason and fact and new evidence, so that you can figure out a way moving forward. A liberal, you're supposed to be open to new ideas. That doesn't mean you change your moral code every day, but as information comes in, you don't have to be such a hard ass to do what the regressives do, because they're not progressive anymore, they're regressive, which is anytime anyone says anything against you, you label them a bigot, a racist, a homophobe, all that bullshit. You do what they did when Milo and I went to talk at UCLA a couple weeks ago. You form a human wall outside so people can't get in. So these people, they're not against walls. They're just against Trump's wall. If they make a wall, they're okay with it. Tossing garbage cans, spitting on people. There is nothing liberal about that. So I have to defend people like Milo and Crowder and other people on the right like Shapiro, because if I don't, you have to stand up for ideas when it's not just when it's convenient, but when it's not convenient. And liberals seem to have forgotten that.
Yeah, Milo had a date scheduled at Ohio State University here, and it didn't even end up happening, probably to avoid something like that from happening here.
A lot of his events get bomb threats and stuff like that. So
it's hard to think of something more illiberal than trying to stop people from hearing other people's ideas.
Right, and that's the thing. You got to use your speech to beat bad speech. That's how speech works. That's how the social contract works that we have in a functioning society. You can't use violence. People, I mean, literally, they created a human wall. They're tossing garbage cans, getting up in cops' faces purposely to provoke them with cameras right in their faces. They're pounding on the doors while we're speaking. But this I'll give you a story that'll really illustrate the derangement of this SJW and this really regressive nonsense. So we're doing the speech, about 400 kids in there. And by the way, these kids were white, black, Asian, gay, handicapped, every fucking stupid thing that you want to name, right? White, whatever. Okay. About 45 minutes in, one of the protesters got in and she started screaming, interrupting the talk. So I said to her, look, I bet you if you wait for the Q&A that Milo will answer your question. If you have a good point, I'm sure Milo would be happy to answer the question. So Milo, because he has balls, he said, you know what, we don't have to wait. We'll do it right now. What do you want to say to me? So he opens the floor to this person, and guess what she did? She stands up and she goes, I hate you! And it's like
a 2-year-old.
That's it. So instead, you had the floor. You know this thing is being videotaped by a zillion people. You got a point. You want to show that he's a racist or a bigot or a homophobe or he's a gay homophobe or a transphobe or whatever. Here's your chance. And instead, because it's feeling over fact, and we got to shut that shit down. And hopefully our side's starting to wake up, because there's a lot of people waking up.
I'd be willing to say that there's a few things that Milo says that you disagree with, Dave.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Look, here, I'll give you a very simple example. On my show, when he's been on twice, and then we did this thing at UCLA. When he was on my show about 2 months ago, we were talking about Islam. Now, he laid out a very condemning case about Islam and gays, actually, and relative to what happened in Orlando a couple days, it was pretty, almost chillingly prescient, okay? But as we were discussing it, I always make the distinction between the doctrine of Islam, the set of ideas that are in any book, but in this case in Islam, and then the people who who act on it. So there are nominal Muslims, like there are nominal Jews or Christians who don't really believe anything. And they may celebrate Christmas or celebrate Hanukkah or celebrate Kwanzaa or Iftar or whatever else there is, but it doesn't really dictate how their lives operate. So I always, and then of course there are Islamists who want political Islam, and there are jihadists who want to use violence and all sorts of other things. So I always go out of my way to make that distinction, which by the way was the very distinction that Sam was trying to make on Real Time back then. It doesn't buy you much cred with the regressives, but I still try to do it.
I also want to point out it doesn't buy you much cred with the opposite crowd either, like the AIUs of the world and shit.
Well, so wait. Well, let's pause on that. We can get into that, but Milo basically just doesn't. He just believes that this is about. He doesn't make the distinction between a doctrine and the people. I firmly disagree on that. I don't think that all Muslims are bad by any estimation, but I think we have to have an honest discussion about what this doctrine is doing. And the more we're afraid to do that, we just keep handing people over to the right because they go left is retarded, so we're going to go to the right.
I watched one of your recent episodes, and you had an expert on Islam, and he was talking about the different types of jihad, like the financial jihad and that sort of thing. I thought that was really interesting because you normally only hear about jihad by the sword and not all these other.
Bill Warner, he's a scientist. He's about, I think he said he was 72, if I'm not mistaken. Spent his whole life in science, but then decided to get into religion and studies all of the religious texts from a scientific perspective. And he lays out an incredibly scary and damning case about the difference between Islam and the other religions. So one like really simple example that he lays out is that in the religions, again, where the left wants everything to be equal and it's just not. So you could say the books are all equally bullshit, but then there are things in them that just make them not equal. So for example, it's very easy to convert into Islam. Pretty much you just have to say you're a Muslim and you're in. That's one of the reasons, by the way, that it spreads very quickly in jails, because it's a group building thing and you can get in very easily. At the same time, it's very hard to get out, because if you get out, you're an apostate, and then it says you should be killed. So easy in, hard out, it's designed to spread like a virus. Now you could take Judaism, it's incredibly hard to get in because you have to study with rabbis for months and do a bunch of shit that nobody in their right mind would ever want to do. And then to get out, you just say, I'm not a Jew anymore. And guess what? No Jew's going to behead you. They go, well, do you still like watching Curb Your Enthusiasm? Like, that would be it. So that's a fundamental difference. I hope that doesn't seem racist to anyone, but these are real things.
Gross, that's racist.
If we don't talk about them, we are just destroying ourselves in the West. That's nothing I said there was hateful, but of course,
Oh, it was so hateful. It was pure hate.
You're actually going to deny the roving gangs of sidelocked Jewish beheaders running around, right?
Look, here's the thing. Look, you could take ultra-Orthodox Jews. They separate men and women. They're not down with gays. All of those things. But and I'm not okay with any of that. You know what I mean? Look, I live in Los Angeles. There are ultra-Orthodox Jews with black outfits and hats and wool. It's 90 fucking degrees outside. So for nothing else, just for comfort, what are you doing? I want to pull them aside and say, guys, what are you doing here? But the thing is, they're not beheading people. They're not blowing anyone up, and they're not trying to they're not trying to take anyone else and make them their religion. That's a huge difference. So again, I'm not defending those ideas in any way. I'm really not. But they are different. They're not looking at you as the non-believer and saying you better convert or you'll die. And that's a difference in doctrine. And we can't be afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. Let's talk about atheism is unstoppable, because it's just too funny. Because I guess I don't know what you said about him, but my understanding was it was like pretty passive stuff, and he's literally made like 3 or 4 videos now of himself going through like comment sections and blocking every single person that commented on the video where you said something about him that he didn't like. Which was maybe just
100% honestly. I haven't even watched the videos. I've had a lot of shit going on between this launch these last 3 weeks, and I was leaving another company, and I've been dealing with a lot of shit. So pretty much all I said was that I credit him with helping my wake up to this regressive shit, because he was making videos using the word regressive just as I was kind of coming around to some of this stuff. So I fully credit him for that. What I said in that interview with Skeptic Fence pretty much I sort of passingly said he's nuts. I didn't mean nuts like he's crazy, like his ideas are crazy. I meant he uses language when he's talking about people that I personally wouldn't use. But that it's actually not. Look, it didn't strike me as offensive. And
no, you were right the first time. He's nuts. I mean,
look,
he's gone around blocking people in advance. Like, I'm just gonna block everyone because maybe they think I'm nuts. He's so easily hurt, so easily wounded, so overly sensitive. Isn't that the thing that we're, supposed to be against I don't really use the word regressive, but the regressives for is that they're overly sensitive, easily butthurt, easily offended, and yet...
Well, I would say generally we, as all of us, if we're really free thinkers, we got bigger fish to fry than each other. So,
sure.
I don't mind if people... that's all right. It's a lot of it's fun and games too. It's fine. I can't get caught in the outrage machine. I just can't. I'm outraged over the outrage machine, but beyond that, I can't get outraged over general.
I'm not outraged by it. I just think it's really funny that he would block people for such a silly reason.
It's a strange dichotomy.
For such a mild comment.
Yeah, his thing is like I'm this alpha male, right? And I've never seen such an easily wounded alpha male in my entire life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I haven't watched. I've spoke to him privately a couple times. I really like him. So I don't know.
Nah, he's a doofus. You're wrong. But another person that's fucking piece of shit that you've interviewed is Steven Crowder. That guy deserves to be thrown off a fucking bridge. No. He was going to sue me once until he lost this other case. Because I made a video basically he made a video where he's like, I was attacked by this union thug. And I watched the video, I'm like, okay, if you look at the video, it's pretty clear that you would fucking push this guy before he did anything to you. And that you cut it out, because you could just tell from the position that things start in. He's facing away from you. I don't believe that some guy fell down facing away from you and then turned around and pushed you, and somehow he did it first. And a judge pretty much agreed with my assessment because he tried to sue the union guy or whatever. But me and him were on the same network back at the time, and we had the same, network manager, or whatever the fuck they were called, at Maker Studios, at Polypop. And the guy told me that Crowder was fucking furious that I made that video, and he was going to sue me for every dime I got and all this other shit.
And the major problem I have with Crowder was the whole, a union demonstration thing where he, provoked a fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's just... I don't know. Can't even
Was he paying any attention to what you just said? What happened?
No, man. He's just slipping in and out. He's like, whoa.
It is the Drunken Peasants, after all.
I wasn't paying attention.
He was reading the chat. He's like, let's see what the chat's saying. I'm not as interesting as the chat, unfortunately.
No, I have to listen to him all the time.
My voice just becomes a droning... Anyway, Crowder sucks, but I don't want to get too bogged down in that.
I don't know. I'm actually not totally sure what you're referring to, but my thing with Crowder is we disagree on a lot politically, more than I disagree probably with Milo. But Crowder would stand for my right to say what I think, and I would stand for his right to say what he thinks. And to me, at this point in America, with so much evil, illiberal nonsense happening and our political debate being so bad, to me, the defense of free speech is the top at the important list right now. Sure. So if I find allies, I don't even care that I disagree with them politically.
I want to say I was just shit talking AIU, but I give money to his Patreon as well. I give the same amount I give yours. I have a few people.
Is that right?
I mean, I don't agree with his ass. I think he's a nut. I think he really is a nut job, but I'll give him some money. I'll support him because he makes interesting content that obviously does incite some people's interest. I don't really watch much of it, but I've enjoyed some of it.
You know what? By the way, guys, TJ, one of the things is that what's cool about what's happening now with all of us connecting, all of these people, whether it's, someone like Milo or Christina Hoff Sommers or Crowder or me or you guys or whoever it is that we are all over the map politically and philosophically and all that. But as I just said, we're coming together because we're trying to get people to understand conversation. And that's far more important than the other thing. And you know what about atheism is unstoppable? Look, when he's throwing those bombs out there, those bombs are able to start conversations that perhaps my more even-keeled way of talking about things isn't able to do.
That's why I give money to him. because I feel the exact same way.
I think it's all good on every front for this gang of new people or whatever you want to call
it. Yeah, I don't know. Let's talk about the word regressive, because it's come up quite a few times.
Yes.
I don't really like the term regressive that much. I'm not a big fan. Well, because even though I can kind of see why the label regressive is used, I still think it's more aptly applied to the traditional American right, who literally are trying to roll back civil liberties and shit on many fronts, whereas these like I don't even know. I don't have a term for them. The progressives gone wild, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I mean, I never used the term progressive. I always called myself a fucking liberal, so I have no problem just calling them progressives, even though it's a lie.
Right, that just sounds bad enough to you. Yeah, I mean, look, I always considered myself a liberal too, and then when I was with the Young Turks, they were a progressive network, so I guess I just sort of got lumped in with that. But people can go back and watch every video I ever did there. I don't think that I ever was really on the bandwagon of labeling everybody and demonizing everybody. And, you know, if there was a black person on Fox News, immediately screaming that he was an Uncle Tom. Because, you know, I believe that you should judge someone by their thoughts. So if there's a black person on Fox News, if he's saying what he believes, then I have to believe that, because if I don't, then I'm actually a racist for thinking that I know what all black people should think. So, you know,
yeah.
But
I guess
as for the word,
another thing about the term before you continue is that I think maybe part of the reason I don't like it is because the first time I ever heard it was when AIU was flinging it towards me.
Yeah, it's used as an insult.
You guys are a bunch of regressive cuck beta males that don't understand the alpha male mentality.
It's used as a insult a lot.
well, look,
I've noticed.
I would say this.
It's tossed around pretty damn loosely. Like the same way you talk about, you know, the regressives tossing around, you're a racist and you're this and you're that. I feel like the word regressive is tossed around just as cavalierly.
Yeah,
those
but being
things are
called a
conversation
racist,
stoppers.
But being called a racist is worse, I would say.
Sure.
Right.
Well,
so
in
that's
some circles,
one.
the internet regressive is just as bad.
Right. So, but first off, I think the bigger point is that if you were to, nobody knew this word, you know, really out there, out of the ether 6 months ago, right? So if you were to call someone a regressive, guess what? It doesn't fucking tar them, where if you call someone a racist, it does, right? It's not a career ender and changes your friends on Facebook and all that. That's number one. Number two, I've actually changed my philosophy on the word a little bit, because at first, when I started my show in September, and I had, you know, Majid Nawaz, by the way, is the one that coined the word, not me. He's the one that came up with the actual phrase. But I felt that we had to really label this way of thinking. And for that purpose, it's very good, because these are not progressive values. They're regressing into backwards things. Now, I think you would argue that the right has done that for a long time. Now, part of it is just regressive sounds like progressive, so it's nice, right? It's got a little wordplay. It's nice. I'm not defending the right in any way. I voted for Republican once in my entire life. It was Rudy Giuliani's third term after 9/11. Otherwise, I've always voted Democratic. So my credentials stand as someone that is on what was the left, I would say. But I do agree with your bigger point, which is now the word has really taken root, and that's a beautiful thing. But at some point, it just becomes a word that tars people. And now I'd like to say forward, and that's what I've been trying to do. So, look, nothing's perfect. I'm not perfect. We all use things in ways that sometimes are more effective than others. But I want the ideology to be stamped out. So if you want to call it the illiberal left or the regressive left, or just if progressives is good enough, any of that, like, I don't trademark the fucking thing, and, you know, I like it, but that's cool.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I might start using it just because I don't have a term. I usually just say SJW, because that seems to work pretty much just as well for me anyway. But
you know what, though? The problem with just saying SJW, I think, is that then it somehow implies that you are completely against every other, which I know is not true. But there's like, you know, if you say I'm against social justice warriors, that average person who doesn't really know why they should be against it, they think, wait a minute, you're against black people, you're against immigrants, you're against gay people. Now, I know that's not true, but that's why some of these that's why it's tough. Look, we're defining phrases that have changed, and it makes it tough for sure.
So I can't. We got to talk about this crazy ass fucking election because this is like, I mean, I'm only 31, but I remember a few elections before this. I don't remember any election up to this point being this crazy and weird. Like, it's just like
the only election that was this crazy and weird was the election in Idiocracy.
I know, right? It's pretty. It's some weird. This is a weird ass election. It's weird that the two candidates of the major parties are both just like hugely disliked by massive fucking like. Both have like majorities of the population. Like, nope, they're a piece of shit. So how are these the two choices for president? You know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. There's never
so
been
sad.
negatives
Look,
this high.
I studied politics in college, and I've always been political in nature my whole life. There's never been anything like this, and it's a combination of online and terrible online media, terrible mainstream media, terrible candidates, a system that's funding awful people, a system that only responds to bad things and never good things. It's also people that are uneducated, that don't understand. Like, you want to get Trump, if you really wanted to get Trump a good interviewer, if I could interview him, I would say, Donald, can you explain the three branches of government? What are they and what do they do?
Oh, wow.
That's what. It's simple as that. Can you explain to me the difference between the legislative branch and the executive branch? Do you know what that is? And
look,
dumb public. Yeah.
I'm not here to explain basic civics to you. You got Donald Trump here, and you ask him a basic civics question. Come on, move on.
Right. So that's very difficult. Of course, you would make it very, very difficult to answer that question. But that's how you get this guy, because otherwise the media is constantly playing defensive. He says crazy things. His base loves it. And partly I don't blame his base, because they're sick of feeling like they can't say anything. So this guy just says anything unapologetically, and they're living through him. And I understand that. I understand that human emotion. And that's what I think most people that don't get the Trump thing, the people that really don't understand it, they're missing that there is an entire generation of young people, and not just young people, but there is a group of people out there that feel like they haven't been able to speak for a long time because they were so afraid of posting this on Facebook or saying this word or that. That's a seriously it's not a human way to live. You're supposed to be able to express yourself. And he's harping in on that. And it may be with bad intentions. And I don't think he's particularly bright when it comes to policy or any of that stuff, but he's hitting on that. And if people are willing to vote on that, well, then here we are.
I have a hard time, honestly, caring about who wins. I mean, I have a $500 bet that Trump will win with my brother. But, that's not looking so great recently, but whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think you're
a lot of election cycle to go.
Are you going to vote to stack the odds in your favor? Or
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to vote for Trump or Clinton. I know that. I'm not going to vote for either of them.
What about Gary Johnson? You guys like Gary Johnson?
Yeah.
I could see myself voting for Gary Johnson. I could see myself voting for Jill Stein. I can't see myself voting for Trump or Hillary. I can't do it.
I used to live in New Mexico, and Gary Johnson was the governor there.
Now, Jill Stein is a little to the left of me, but
and I thought he was pretty cool. I was never...
Gary Johnson, I had him on my show, and I had a chance to sit at the table with this guy, look him right in the eyes. This is a good man. Look, he's not going to win president this year, obviously, but I would say at the moment, if you really care about democracy right now, and you're concerned about the state of our country, it actually would benefit you to support Gary Johnson, because let's at the very least, if he gets an average of 15% in the national polls, they have to put him in the debates. So let's at least have one debate where there's someone else who talks about why actually small government is good, who talks about some of the issues that you guys talk about all the time, that I talk about all the time, about capitalism, about not having a bloated foreign policy and all that kind of stuff. So at the very least, even if you're going to dump him right after that and vote for one of them, just so that there's another idea in there. Because otherwise, these two ideas, we're talking about this much on the political spectrum. How about we open it up just that much more,
Speaking of the debates, that's really something that I'm waiting for. I don't know how a debate between a Hillary and a Trump is going to go. As a member of the media, what do you think when that time comes around?
It's going to be a shit show of epic proportions. look, we all know about Trump. We know all the tricks, Crooked Hillary, Lion Ted, Little Marco. What was Jeb? Jeb, I fucked your wife. What was it?
I can't remember.
But Jeb is so forgettable, we can't even remember the fucking adjective fucking Trump added to his name anymore.
Right. So look, we know what Trump's going to do. We know he can, look, he's doing a lot of stand-up comedy really when he's up there. He's just kind of winging it, improving it. He knows that he never really has to answer a question because of exactly what you were doing before.
He is pretty entertaining.
Yeah. So he'll just wing it. Now, the thing is that Hillary, look, there's a lot of reasons not to like Hillary, but I will give her credit on this. This woman knows her shit inside out. I don't know that there's anyone on earth who has ever been more prepared to, and you may not like what she would do, but in terms of preparation of basically had every job, she was Secretary of State, she was Senator, she was a first wife, she's been a lawyer. She has prepared her whole life for this. She knows how the government works. She's negotiated deals. You may not have liked those deals, but she's done that. She's talked to every leader of every foreign country.
Yeah, but her efficacy is kind of what scares me on some level because, I feel like if Trump gets in there, he's going to be just in a quagmire of not being able to get anything done. If Hillary's in there, she will get shit done, but it'll probably be a lot of shit I don't like. So
listen,
part of me feels like the ideal situation would be Trump wins, but the Democrats fucking win like the Senate and maybe they get some better position in the House too. But because then it'd be Trump, but he'd be kind of gridlocked and stuff. Maybe he'd be able to get some crazy signing statement bullshit through, but he wouldn't.
That was also the dangerous, and one of the reasons that I wasn't big on Bernie, even though I liked a lot of his ideas, is that, the Democrats wouldn't have the House for at least 2 years while Bernie would have been president. And he kept saying he was going to do all these big things. But if he didn't have the House, the only way he could have got them done is by executive order. So if you just want the president to become more and more like a king, then you would be okay with that. But if you really want our government to function how it's supposed to and true checks and balances, you can't be for that. And I know that that's kind of insider politics stuff, but it's important to note those kind of things. We all think the president's only a third of the government. We think he's the fucking king who's going to save us. And that's another reason that somebody like Gary Johnson would be important. We need to understand, what is the government supposed to do? Is the government supposed to just make sure you don't get shot when you walk outside or make sure your roads are okay? Or is it supposed to give you free college? Or is it supposed to, what is it supposed to do? And that's the question. That's the real conversations that they should be having, which they never do.
Yeah, I support the free college thing, even though I never went to college and don't really give a shit about it.
You accept that?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it's not free. I mean, it's not truly free, but, it's free in the same way our roads are free, or it's free to go kill a bunch of people in Iraq, which is to say it's not really free. But,
right. Well, there's always money for bombs. We all know that.
But, I believe that he would have been able to pay for it with the Wall Street speculation thing. I looked at the numbers. It seemed legit. He said even if there was like a 50% reduction in the kind of trading he was talking about because of this new tax, it would still be enough to pay for free college for everybody. I'm all right with fucking having Wall Street bail us out for fucking once. I'm okay with that. But
listen, I have no.
Also, I just know too many people who are like buried under mountains of shitty college debt. Now, a lot of them, they made bad decisions, whatever. But maybe we should. The government's giving out all these loans, then it doesn't let you. You can't get rid of the loans even in bankruptcy, and they can even seize like your Social Security money if you get that old and still haven't paid them. It's just ridiculous.
But think about what you're saying. You're saying that the government does terrible things, and then at the same time, you're saying give the government more power.
Well, yeah. So I mean, look, I've never been one for this fucking whole quantitative argument of government. Do we need more? Do we need less? It's all qualitative to me. I don't want less or more government. I just want better government. I don't care if it lands on less or more. I just want it to do what it's supposed to do. And I think that, providing some social safety net, I think it's a good idea to fucking educate our citizens better. I mean, we're falling behind in the world in a lot of ways. We do need to improve the education system overall, but whatever. It's just all pipe dreams in America. I just feel like there's America's just this fucked up patchwork of pipes, and they're all leaking, and you fucking fix one and two more spring up, and it's just, it's never going to be anything but a fucking shit show, so whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? That all said, where else would you want to live? Because there's nowhere else I'd want to live.
Amsterdam.
Okay.
I went to Amsterdam. Me and Ben and Scotty, we were all in Amsterdam, and me and Ben are like, at the end of the week that we spent there, we're like, dude, let's just fucking move here, man. Fuck America, dude. Fuck America.
Yeah.
We're fucking Amsterdam now. Of course, we were drunk and high out of our fucking minds, but you know.
Listen,
Yeah.
I was in Amsterdam twice. The second time for 9 days. Did not leave the red light district. I mean, I tripped on mushrooms for like 6 out of 8 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. We that
was
was
a long
kind of the
time.
same. That was kind of the same for us. We were there for like
Beautiful.
7 days, but yeah, pretty much the same story. And those when you walk around at night, those weird guys try to sell you other kinds of drugs, but they don't.
Sneef, cocaine.
Yeah, they don't make
sneef,
eye contact
cocaine.
with you. They just kind of like stare at the wall. They're like, "Got some good shit, man." It's so weird.
I'm assuming that
I
if
was
you
happy
actually
with
go
the-
to buy the cocaine, you're taken to a back room somewhere, and then they beat the shit out of you and take your wallet.
No,
or
they
something.
probably give you something. Who knows what it actually is, though?
It's fucking mixed with like fucking detergent and shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Man, I wish I'd fucking gotten that cocaine when I had that chance. Whatever. But yeah, Amsterdam. I could live there. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty American through and through. Fucking.
I
but
could live in Canada.
Part of
I like Canada too.
I feel like part of being an American is bitching about how bad America sucks. I feel like it's a long time honored tradition of America. We're the greatest, and we're also the worst.
Right. Well, guess what? You can say whatever you want about the government, and the government's not coming to kill you, at least at the moment. Not to say the government does all great things because of NSA and spying on us and phones and all that shit. So they do.
That's
a lot of bad
the,
shit,
that's the
but-
thing that scares me the most about Trump. Honestly, is his like. I mean, Hillary's the same way, but at least she kind of has like, oh, we're gonna look into it. But Trump's just like, NSA is great, spy on everybody. If you don't report your neighbors for doing strange shit, you should go to jail too. It's like, whoa, you're fucking nuts, dude. You're fucking insane.
I don't know if any of you guys read The Art of the Deal. That's Trump's, that was the book where he lays out his whole thing. And in The Art of the Deal, he's basically telling you exactly what he's doing right now, even with the wall. People say he's building the wall no matter what. Guess what? It's a negotiating ploy. There is a good chance that I would say there's probably upwards of a 75% chance that if Donald Trump became president, the wall would not be built. Now, he might do a lot of things. He might build certain parts of a wall with electronic surveillance and all the other stuff. But he's using it as a ploy to say, this is what I want. This is called negotiations. I want this. It's crazy. Now you want this. Now we're going to come here. But I already dragged you to me. Mm-hmm. So people need to understand that. He keeps saying the ban on Muslims. He's already hedged on that. He throws the bomb. Everyone freaks out. And then he negotiates. That's called being a businessman.
Yeah, sure. And, I don't understand the wall thing. Like, I think it's stupid and effectual. But I really don't see it as, like, that big of a problem either, other than it just being kind of a fucking eyesore and useless, and it doesn't really need to be there.
Right.
But at least it would employ some people.
Yeah,
at least a bunch of people would be employed and fucking working on this wall for fucking 10 years or however long it takes.
It would not be very effective, even if he did finish the entire wall. People would just tunnel under it. They
already have. Like
oh, yeah.
In San Diego, they're constantly finding these fucking tunnels under the border and shit.
But that's the thing. That's why it's not about a wall. It's about just, are we allowed to protect our borders? This is one of the things, if we could have an honest conversation about something. Look, I think that the whole point of having any nation on earth is that you have borders so you can protect your people. I'm sure some of you guys watch Game of Thrones, right? Like the whole fucking thing is about what's mine, what's yours, and people are always coming to get it, right? So there's nothing inherently wrong with saying I want to protect the borders of my country. Is a wall sensible or is a wall effective? Nobody really knows the answer to that question. But the concept behind it is not racist in and of itself.
No, I agree. It's not. I don't even know if I would. I don't know if I'd call Trump racist. I definitely think xenophobic fits, though. I wouldn't say that. I would say he is xenophobic. It seems like he's scared of pretty much every other country. The Chinese are fucking us. The Mexicans are fucking us.
Then why does he pick 2 out of his 3 wives from Eastern Europe?
Because he doesn't really give a shit. He's just a hypocrite.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying he's playing that shit.
they always make the point about, I'll see people on the left, they'll say, well, Trump's ties are made in Mexico. That shows what a hypocrite he is. That actually doesn't show he's a hypocrite. That shows he's a good businessman using our stupid trade laws to his advantage. So they're trying to expose hypocrisy, but they're showing the stupidity of the people that are currently in power. What he's saying is, if I was to make the trade laws would be different so that people like me would have a vested interest in investing in America.
To me, that's actually like the centerpiece of to me, that's like the centerpiece of his campaign, is that he's actually against these shitty trade deals, because I agree they're shit.
Yeah.
His existence as a businessman really is brilliant for his campaign, because it shuts down. He's so good at shutting down criticism, because if people criticize him for these deals that he's made in the past as a businessman, he can just say, look, I'm playing the game. I'm a businessman. This is how you have to do it. I don't like it, but this is how business gets done. And it completely shuts down any criticism you could possibly have of anything that he's ever done.
Dude, I can't wait till the full negative shit starts on this, because, it's going to be great seeing them sling mud, because there's so much to do there.
Yeah, for both of them.
Of course, Hillary sucks at it is the problem. She's just like, I'm a woman, and he's sexist, and he's racist, and give me my fucking presidency. Thanks. Anyway, you were saying something?
Look, did you see any of that Benghazi hearing that she did a couple months back? I mean, that woman, she sat there for like 12 hours. They threw everything at her. There's that meme of her just doing this. And it's like, they finished that thing. They couldn't get her on anything, 20 of them. And then at the end, she walks out calm, cool, and collected, smiling and everything. And did you see that? There's a video of Trey Gowdy, who was leading the thing against her. And he's dripping in sweat. He looked like he just got the shit kicked out of him. So that's why you can't underestimate her.
Well, I mean, but the problem was with the Benghazi thing. I didn't even see it, so I'm kind of talking on my ass a little. But there was not much there with the Benghazi thing. That was kind of just a Republican, like, Benghazi.
She's been through other scares, like the Whitewater scare.
Yeah, sure.
She's been through a lot, and she's come through all of it unscathed. So I wouldn't doubt her for a second. You, TJ, you just dislike her so much you don't want to give her any credit.
Well, no, I think that the proper way to hammer her is not like Benghazi. It's basically just saying, like, look, you're bought and paid for by Wall Street. You're their favorite candidate. Most of Wall Street's giving you a shit ton of money in this election. You can't claim that you're some sort of anti-corporatist candidate. Trump is actually to the left of you on these issues. At least his stated positions are. So, I mean, like, here we have this, like, crazy fucking conservative guy who's actually to the left on many issues of the Democratic frontrunner, and that's going to be a problem. I think that if Trump hammers away at that, which it seems like that is in his repertoire of attacks, eventually that's going to fucking resonate with somebody. Already resonates with me. She's also flip-flopped on every issue under fucking creation.
Trump, by any estimation, he's barely a Republican. I mean, he's not really against abortion. Not that you have to be a Republican against abortion, but he's not really against abortion. He's not really against gay marriage. He's a New York, basically moderate liberal who says some crazy shit. But, like, there's not that much difference. But I would say if you really fear Hillary, and I get it, everything you said, the Wall Street stuff, I get it. But I would say this, I don't think there's any reason she would govern much differently than Obama. So if you're basically okay with Obama, I don't know that you are, but if you basically are, I think she's pretty much just going to be a third term of him. Now, there's a lot of reasons not to like that, but I don't sense that she would somehow be this crazy neocon warmonger or suddenly crash the economy because she likes Wall Street more than Obama. Because guess what? Obama likes Wall Street a lot, too.
I just feel like, yeah, he does. I just feel like I don't want another. I mean, I don't hate Obama like with a passion or something, like fucking Obama ruined America or some shit. But to me, it's like, it's not like he did anything even remotely vaguely similar to his campaign of 8 years ago, like change and hope, and we're gonna fucking shake things up. And then it's like, nah, well, I almost feel like Obama on many fronts is just a continuation of Bush. So it's almost just like George Bush has never left office, and I feel like if Hillary Clinton takes office, he still won't have. It's just we're still kind of on that general course in so many ways.
You guys remember that feeling 7 years ago when Obama was running the first time, the hope and change feeling? Yeah. Doesn't it feel like it feels like we were all on Molly? The whole country was on Molly. Yeah. We didn't know what the hell was happening.
Yeah,
dude, I think we elected a black guy president last night. What happened? Shit.
Yeah, that was the last election that I voted in because I got rope-a-doped into that shit. I thought, here's a guy that can, get in there and affect some real change.
I haven't voted in a presidential election since Kerry. Just putting that out there.
That guy. I really don't like that guy.
Yeah. One of the things about Hillary that I dislike really isn't a policy thing. It's this idea of dynastic politics in America. We've already had a father-son duo. The best we can do is the wife of a former president now. Like, there's no family out there producing presidential material other than Clintons and Bushes at this point.
Right, and that's the thing. We'll get done with Clintons and Bushes, and then guess what? We're going to have Malia Obama, and then we'll have Chelsea Clinton first, and then we'll have Malia Obama, and then the next there's that George P. Bush, who's the half Latino one in Texas. Yeah. He's the land commissioner or something. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, we need to stop thinking that these people, it's like we're so obsessed with celebrity that we think they should be king and we should treat them like kings. And that's actually one thing. A lot of European countries, they have a prime minister who in effect is our president, the guy who gets shit done. But they also have a king or a queen or some sort of a president in a lot of cases. There are presidents that aren't really powerful, but that are just and I almost think we need that. So we can get our celebrity needs out with the president. I don't think we need a king, but you could have a president.
We need an emperor. The Emperor of America.
Shit up.
Well, it doesn't have to be necessarily be an evil emperor. It could be we could make Kanye West emperor.
Oh God.
He's already got the ego.
I'd rather Palpatine.
Yeah.
No, man.
Me too.
Kanye is an entertaining motherfucker. You guys don't know what's what. His ego is beautiful. Not as beautiful as Paul's ego, though. With his faggoty glasses.
Very, very... Man, just let my eyes feel okay. Why are you wearing sunglasses today? What's up with that?
Because, I don't know.
Oh, early morning. Got it.
Yeah, this is... I had an hour of sleep because I'm stupid. And I'm just like,
exactly.
Well, I gotta fucking do this interview in like 2 hours. Guess I better go to bed. Yeah, thank you. So professional. So deeply professional.
Listen, guys, I got about 5 minutes left.
5 minutes. Well, why don't you throw a topic out there? What's on your mind?
That's an odd way to interview, but I'll roll with it. What's on my mind at the moment? I've been lost in my going solo operation and the political side of it. I would say more. We'll end on something inspiring, which is something we sort of hit on at the beginning. How about that?
Okay.
Which is whatever you want to call it, the SJW stuff, the regressive shit, the illiberal nonsense, whatever you want to call it. A year ago, there was almost nobody fighting it. There was certainly nobody on television talking about it. There's a couple of people now. There was barely anyone online. There was Atheism Unstoppable, a couple other guys. But it's starting to hit. The pushback against this bullshit is growing, and it's growing exponentially faster. And I've said this a couple times. Look, I'm very happy with what happened on my Patreon, and I have huge plans for what I'm going to do. We're going to do something amazing. But you know what? If 1,000 people who are a lot more talented and smarter than me pop up out of nowhere and put me out of business, then we'll have won. So I think there's something actually very cool happening here. And we need to take time every now and again to stop and realize that, because that's how you actually grow a movement.
Don't you? Do you think that they'll have a resurgence? I mean, like, it seems like they have a lot of power, like mainstream media almost totally in their control. Yeah. It seems like they own every social network, really, except for, I don't know if you consider YouTube a social network, but they don't own YouTube. That's like the one place they can't really seem to get a foothold in. But Twitter, Tumblr, anywhere else on the internet, it seems like they're kowtowing to these policies. And I even see, like, in popular entertainment now, like, way more of this things that I know come from this group of people. Like, I'm watching the show Preacher. It's based on a comic I fucking used to read back in the 90s and shit. And one of the characters from the comic, Tulip, is pretty much now like a Tumblrina personified. Like, if there was a scene where, you know, first of all, you got to do the really ham-fisted girl power. Girls can be powerful too, and it's like it can't be subtle. It has to be like girls. And then there's a part where there's a guy behind her, and he laughs at something that she thinks is inappropriate, and she takes him to task for it and makes him go like, "Oh, I guess I shouldn't have laughed at something I thought was funny," you know. And I mean, I just see that so much, not just, you know, all over the place in media and shit. So I mean, like,
listen, I didn't say we're winning.
I'm just saying we can overcome that. Is what I'm really where this rambling shit is going. Do you really feel like, you know, just because, like, do you think that we are going to see the tide turn, that we'll actually get a foothold in, we'll actually be able to challenge the mainstream media narrative? I mean, it does seem like people trust the media less and less, so...
Yeah. So look, I think these guys aren't going to go down without a fight. We know they fight dirty, and they've been trying to get young people in college and earlier for a long time. So our work is cut out for us without question. But can we get a foothold in? Can we start being heard more? Yeah, because this is on YouTube right now. So the great equalizer, we still control it. Not control it, we still are a part of it. So yeah, I guess the monster could come and take everything away and ban us all from Twitter and ban us all from Facebook and YouTube and all that. And we'd have to figure out something, and guess what? We're pretty smart, so we'd figure out another route. But we are the noise. Look, and also, more than anything else, they're destroying themselves because they have to eat themselves. That's how it works. The second they're in power, they have to take themselves down. It's a snake that's eating its tail. So, for example, the Orlando thing, look, at the end of the day, most of these regressive fools that I follow on Twitter and that I know, they were more concerned about Muslims after than the gay people who died. Now, look, I have, for the fucking bajillionth time, I have nothing against Muslim people. But this guy killed in the name of Islam, in the name of the caliphate. He called 911 to announce it. He was probably gay himself and could only turn that self-hate that only religion could teach him. And he also couldn't leave his religion because they would have killed him. And at least that's what he believed, because that's what they teach you. So the left is exposing themselves. Their logic fallacies are being exposed left and right. And that's the little bit of the silver lining when something as abjectly horrible happens as Orlando. They expose themselves, and then we just have to go, whoa. Look, all I did for 3 days was go, look at that bullshit that this Sally Cohn on CNN, who kept saying all religions are equally terrible. You're an outspoken lesbian Jew. Well, which one would be the worst for you? Can you at least tell me that? And I got 1,000 retweets. She didn't respond. It's like, you people are just exposing your bullshit.
I know you got to go. I know you got to get going. I did want to get your reaction to one thing, because you reminded me of something when you were talking there. The SJWs eating themselves, and the Orlando thing, this also has to do with that. There was I don't know if you read about this story, at some campus somewhere, they were doing a vigil for the victims. It was, you know, the LGBT groups on campus were doing a vigil for the victims of the attack, and their vigil was actually crashed by some crazy Latina chick and her posse who were like, why are you paying so much attention to the fact they were gay and not enough attention to the fact they were Hispanic? You know, and it was like they were just fighting amongst each other. That's I think a good example of them cannibalizing each other.
That's intersectionality, right? This new invented word of everyone has to get on the Olympics. And the second someone wedges above you, you got to take them down because you need to be the most oppressed. There was one, I think this maybe was at the same event you're talking about. Did you see that? Where the girl got on stage and didn't want white people there? There were gay white people there that were there to support the fucking horrific tragedy, to support their gay community and straight community, whatever. And they were nervous about white people being there. So then gay white people were being told to leave. They will eat and destroy themselves. We just got to keep exposing these motherfuckers, and we're doing it. So that's the takeaway, I think.
All right, Dave. Well, thank you so much for being on. We appreciate
everyone watching this video, check out his YouTube channel, link in the description.
And donate to his fucking Patreon, too. He's got employees to feed, motherfuckers.
And I got a dog to feed, too. Look at her. She won't even, she's just hanging.
Wow. Doggy.
She's hiding because we didn't get enough money yet.
Aw, damn.
All right,
She
guys,
needs
thanks.
that dog needs a diamond-studded collar, y'all. Give to
Save Dave's
give to
dog.
Dave's Patreon, man. All right, Dave. Thanks for being on. We appreciate it.
Bye, buddy.
All right.
Oh, thank God that faggot's out of here, huh? Jesus, horrible guest, horrible. Nah, he was fun. I liked him. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Now I guess we're just gonna like kind of do the show as we normally would.
Yeah, I just have to get Paul's
for however many
stuff worked
I don't
out.
even know how many minutes there's left, but whatever.
Oh, we've got
tons of minutes.
Yeah.
Tons of minutes left.
Like 90
yeah.
of them.
90 of the fucking things. We're maggoty with minutes, y'all.
Maggoty minutes.
How many people do we have watching this shit?
Like
less than usual, huh?
Well, it's in the.
No one wants to watch this shit in the middle of the day.
What are you talking about?
Fuck you, Dave Rubin.
There's plenty of people watching.
You ruined our show. You ruined our live viewership. Normally there'd be 10,000 people watching. 10,000 people.
I'm gonna put Paul in the middle down here.
Okay, I don't give a shit. Do what you want. Put Paul between us. Let him get sandwiched between you and me. That sounds tantalizing.
I'll be the lunch meat.
Ha! Ha! There you go.
Oh yeah, feels good here. TJ, could you get some mayonnaise for me and spread some mayonnaise on me? I'm a little dry. I've been in the fridge for a while.
You're freaking me out, Paul. You're freaking me out, buddy. But yes, I will do that for you.
But yes, I will do that.
Let's watch some crazy shit.
All right, guys.
I get about 20 Tumblr messages or Twitter messages a day shipping you and I, TJ. How do you feel about that? Apparently, we are shipped.
People in the chat
it makes sense. We're both fat. We both bearded. You know.
People in the chat were asking me to flex so they could. So I'll do it now.
Yeah. Ben's arms are getting pretty big.
For how skinny they used to be.
Oh yeah, I mean like you used to have a big fat gut and like rail thin arms, and now your gut's gone and your arms are getting bulky.
Yeah, motherfucker.
And all tattooed and shit. Ben's looking more and more badass as the show goes on.
Yes, I just need some roids now.
It's pretty soon.
Who wants to send me some
it's gonna be
roids?
the show's just gonna be called like Ben and the Neckbeards or something. Ben is slowly transforming himself into a non-neckbeard. It's sad.
How dare you? How dare you fucking betray our kind, Ben?
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
You're scum, Ben.
Start eating poorly and start finding something else to do other than spending time in the gym.
Yeah, spend time in front of the TV eating Cheetos. That's life.
Yeah. Watch your tits grow like I do. Just look down and go, Jesus Christ, man, those titties are bigger than I remember.
Apparently, I need a rhinoplasty, according to the chat room.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I don't know.
Your nose is fucked.
Yep. I need a rhinoplasty. So I'm going to start a Kickstarter campaign to pay for my rhinoplasty.
That's pretty
Thanks,
good.
guys.
They need a reduction, or what is it? I mean, I don't know. I've never thought your nose needed any.
Apparently, I have a bulbous. People are saying I'm a Jew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which Ben the Jew.
Which I'm not at all. Maybe I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
though.
Also, you don't have the Jewish nose because it doesn't have. It's not a hook nose. The Jews, they have like the thing. Like Paul's really got more of a Jew nose.
I was
even.
gonna say I've got a Jewier nose than you do.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, Paul's nose is Jewier. These people are retards. Why are our fans so stupid?
I don't know.
This show's too lowbrow. We need to class this shit up.
Why are fans so stupid?
Just answer my own question. All right. Let's move on.
All right. Yeah. Hey, Running Lump, get us that.
Where the fuck's the new intro? God damn it!
Action News.
Running Lump is a lazy piece of shit. If there's not a new intro on the next show, I'm gonna personally come kick Running Lump's ass.
I'm not a Jew, okay? I'm not a Jew.
Jerry Lewis, apparently.
I want Running Lump. I want Runny Lump to make us like 3 or 4 of these, and at the end of each one of us explodes, sending shit all over the rest of us. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Just shit everywhere. Not enough shit in this political shit segment.
We need explosions. It shouldn't even really be called political shit. It should just be called. I think he's going to change the name to DP Action News, which makes more sense because it's not all political.
Yeah, DP Action News. News you can fucking trust. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Paul, that is you.
Yeah, it sounds like a fucking gigantic fan is blowing
like
directly
right
onto your microphone. Now we can't hear you at all.
There's no words. We still hearing the fan noise though.
Yeah, that's so weird.
It's bizarre. It must be something in the.
If you guys are still hearing the fan noise, I just muted myself, so you shouldn't be able to.
So that's something else. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's so
a ghost
weird.
in the fucking machine kind of shit.
I don't have a fan, so shouldn't be me.
Huh. Well,
so weird.
Whatever. I don't think it actually goes through into the stream.
Not?
Yeah, only we can hear it.
They can't hear it? All right. Well, I guess it doesn't fucking matter then.
Right.
I can deal with it. All right.
All right. Glenn Beck says that America is unknowingly engaged in Baal worship.
Didn't we watch this like a
No, this is a newer one.
This is a new Baal worship?
Yep.
Jesus.
I don't think people
What
are
the fuck?
doing this.
He's fatter even.
But
How is
people
it? Every fucking time. Every time we watch a new Glenn Beck video, his chin fat has increased by like 25%. Pretty soon it's going to engulf the world. Your chin fat is fucking Baal, dude. We don't need to be worried about Baal worshippers. We need to worry about your fucking chin growing so fucking bulbously large that it just suffocates humanity.
Humanity. My name is Humanity.
The Manatee. You can call me Humanity for short. Also, those glasses are fucking stupid. They're even stupider than Paul's.
I don't know. I was just... No, they kind of reminded me of Paul, like... because of the glasses. I never looked at Glenn Beck and was like, hey, he looks like Paul now. But ever since Paul started wearing those fucking glasses, now it's like, dude, I can't even tell the difference.
If he grew his hair out long, would he not look like fucking Benjamin Franklin at this point? Yeah. Yes, he would.
But is he even close to as intelligent as Benjamin Franklin?
No. Dear God, no. Oh. Benjamin Franklin was a smart motherfucker. Glenn Beck
is he wearing like a big? Is he wearing like a big felt jacket? Like what is that? What is like?
Dude, he has the weirdest fashion sense of any human being I've ever seen, other than like maybe Richard Simmons or something.
At least Richard Simmons has a distinct look. You could look at it and you go, okay, that's Richard Simmons. Like every time I see Glenn Beck, he's dressed in some new weird thing.
Yeah.
Like that jacket looks like you'd just be sweating balls even with the air conditioner on.
It looks like something you'd like go onto a used car lot and some dude would approach you wearing it and you'd be like, nope. I'm noping out of this situation. This is no good. Fuck me.
Somebody in the chat said Glenn Neck. I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, you got it. You nailed it. Glenn Neck.
So this is the earliest show I think we've ever done in the history of DP. I'm wondering how many people out there are outside of the U.S. How many people are from like Europe or Asia that are watching right now?
Eurasians.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the chat where you're from.
All right, let's hear this fucking Baal bullshit.
Intentionally doing this, but it doesn't matter. We are worshiping Moloch and Baal right now. Our country as a nation is literally, with Baal, they used to have these orgies.
We're not.
And to
that doesn't even sound
make
bad.
a sacrifice, you would
they used to have these orgies.
And abort the
not
child
orgies.
and deliver that dead.
And they're aborting orgies with abortions.
Well, they didn't have much of a choice back in those days.
Aborgies.
They didn't have birth control. They don't want to. Just because they had an orgy doesn't mean they want to have a kid. You got to. What is
Look
it?
at this
What?
fucking outfit. Look at this. Look at his socks.
It's your green.
What the fuck are you doing, Glenn? You look
Are you
like
a leprechaun? What the fuck is going on?
Oh, yeah.
I said leprechaun
Faith
first. I got
Zagora.
there before you. Yep. You do the accent though, so you win.
Child
They're all
to
worshiping
Baal.
Baal.
I mean, that was a governmental kind of ritual. I mean, it's
He was a
crazy
pretty good
what's
Batman,
happening.
you
We're
have to admit.
doing the same thing without knowing it.
Yes, and exactly. And, you know, I mentioned we were talking earlier.
What?
John Winthrop, when he spoke about the city on the
Who
hill
the fuck?
at the beginning, he
You know, I don't know
warned,
what's
he said, if we
scarier, man. The fucking fact that he sits there and like, America's worshiping Moloch and Baal. I don't know if that's scarier or it's scarier that there's someone on Earth who would hear that and be like, exactly correct, Glenn. Like, what the shit? No one is worshiping fucking Baal. No one's worshiping Moloch. And I mean, it's the same fucking shit with the vigilant Christian and shit. Like, people can't. They've never even fucking heard of.
Exactly.
You can't be tricked into accidentally worshiping something. It has to be a conscious decision.
follow God will be the most exalted people on earth came true. Because we are to be like Israel was. But if we turn away from our God to other gods, then the judgments that came on Israel will come upon us. And you know, there's a progression in that, Glenn, you know, because you had Baal,
regression.
Then you had Ashtoreth, and you had Moloch.
Dude, this guy looks like guy from like Team America World Police after they like glued a bunch of weird pubes to his face and shit,
to
dude.
make him look like a terrorist.
Yeah, dude.
They glued like hair shavings from the bottom of the barber shop to his face or something stupid like that.
It's like he just glued like Paul's shaven ass hair to his face or something. And it's like, look.
I hate it when dudes that are fat do this like well-groomed beard thing, but they shave it way too high up, so it just like accentuates the big dangling sack of flab underneath it. Like, what are you thinking?
The whole point of the beard is to cover that shit up.
Yeah, I know. Like, what's the point of having a beard if you're just gonna like accentuate the big sallow sack of pimply flesh hanging below your jowls? Like, why?
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense.
I mean, you had this kind of a dark trinity. Baal was
It's
first
like putting
the
a
substitute God.
chandelier
We
in
turn
a
away from
shack.
God, we turn to increase prosperity over God. But then you have Ashtoreth, Litza Ashtoreth, she's the god of sexual immorality. You know, and you have you can trace
Found
it
my
with
new
America.
god.
Then you end up with Moloch, the god of death and destruction,
Cool.
where
That's
you have
also good.
children offered up and offered up.
I just want to say that all these gods sound way cooler than the Christian god, like by far.
Yeah.
By far. Easily better. So if America was worshiping these gods, I don't even think I'd take issue. Let's worship the god of sexual immorality and the god of death. Like, that sounds cool. That sounds awesome. Let's have fun with this.
Not only what you just said is very pertinent, but Israel literally was judged. They were destroyed for that sin, for offering up their children. And by the way, it happened in 1973, which was the year of the Shemitah. Shemitah also means the fall, and you had another fall this year with what happened in the Supreme Court. And this summer, you had this whole big expose
Shemitah is
of
not a
our
cool word for the fall.
No.
Shemitah. It sounds like some kind of like pita portmanteaued with something like a shit pita. Shemitah. Like, ugh. That's no good. Oh shit! Sorry.
the parts of babies.
Another foreign
Did that
word
stop our
sounding
funding of it?
unappetizing
No.
to the
So we
fat
couldn't even
neckbeards.
stop that.
Damn right.
And that's one of the things.
You know,
that was retarded.
I was thinking about that the other day. Like, when Paul was giving me his argument about like how, yeah, well, it was when you were like, dude, foreign words don't sound gross to me. Taco doesn't sound gross. Burrito doesn't sound gross. It's like, motherfucker, you grew up in a place named Madera, California.
So?
Okay,
I'm just saying, like,
taco is not a foreign word where you grew up. No, it's not. Dude,
Sure
the place where you grew up,
You could make
probably was part
but
of
there's
Mexico.
there's
at
certain
one point.
words that sound good. Certain words like if someone like
No,
if
I
someone's
don't want to
like
get back into this.
Here, have a corrigonda or something like that sounds okay. I'll try a
the fuck?
corrigonda.
What about guacamole?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That sounds.
But someone's like, let's eat
Of
some
course you
weck.
would.
That sounds like you're gonna eat like fucking.
It sounds to me like I'm
beeswax or
gonna,
something.
Sounds to me like I'm going to eat a roast beef sandwich.
Why don't they just call it a fucking
Yeah.
roast beef sandwich?
Hey
It's not
guys,
whack.
want to
Fuck that.
go to this restaurant with me and have some duty squat? Like, no, I don't want
No.
duty squat. No,
Well,
thank you. I'll
we already
pass.
know what duty squad is. We already
No, we
know
do-
what it is.
Not put together. We don't.
Oh, so you're making up bullshit.
Duty squat.
Okay.
Duty squat.
Scooty dot.
Paul's so
Whatever.
full of
Who gives a
shit.
shit? I don't give
Whack.
a fuck.
Taco's not foreign. Burrito's not foreign.
The audience,
Hey guys, I'm from Madera,
the
California.
The audience is not invested in this conversation. Let's
I don't
move
give
on.
a shit.
I don't either. I'm just not invested in it either.
You know what? I was
I'm just using them as an excuse.
No, I win.
What is
Paul
that?
loses as usual.
Am I supposed to be reading this
Oh
aloud?
no, you don't have to. But you know.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. So should we like? Tease
I guess we
that?
should. I guess we should tease that we're doing 2 meetups in July.
I'm doing one.
Yeah, Ben is not going to be at both meetups.
I'm staying behind.
And I don't think Paul is going to be at both meetups either,
Yeah,
unless
I may not be able to make both.
But we are doing a meetup in Toledo in mid-July, and we're doing a meetup in New Orleans. That's the one Ben's not going to be at. It's just going to be me, Scotty, and Paul. And that's going to be towards the end of July. So we got 2 meetups coming up in July. Going to be a lot of fun. They're always a lot of fun. The New Orleans one will be our first Southern meetup. Ben's not going to go down because he's afraid that he'll get cornholed by a redneck or something. You know. So that's what's going on. Just let you guys know. Put that out in the zeitgeist. That is happening. So if you're in the Toledo area or somewhere where you could get to Toledo,
Yeah.
or maybe you didn't get to make it to the Columbus meetup.
So Indianapolis, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Columbus, all places in between, Pittsburgh even, which is a little further. You have no fucking excuse.
Come on down.
We had people that drove all the way from San Diego to get here.
And for the New Orleans thing, I mean, like
yeah.
anywhere in the South, like I know a lot of people from Texas have told me that they want to come to it. A lot of people just around Louisiana have told me they want to come to it. And of course, there's always going to be people in New Orleans who want to come to it. So we're working on getting venues for those. And yeah, should be good.
All my Southern brothers and sisters better show up to this Nolans meetup, man. The South shall rise again.
It's going to get rowdy. I feel like there's going to be more rowdiness there than at any other meetup, but maybe I'm mistaken.
I'm ready for some rowdy. I'd like to end the night in a drunk tank. Like that's how I want this to end.
You have fun with that, buddy. Yeah. I don't want to go to the drunk tank.
You coming with me, TJ?
Hails to the gnaw.
As soon as the cops show up, I'm gonna punch you in the face, and your man pride is gonna force you to punch me back, and we're both gonna go to the fucking drunk tank, TJ.
Damn it! Don't do it, Paul. Don't do it.
It's happening.
Shit. All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
People are saying Portland. It's like we were in Seattle. I mean, that's not too far from Portland.
Yeah, plenty of people came from Portland to see us in Seattle. So quit being crybabies. Although maybe Portland will happen in the future. Whatever. We do seem to have a lot of Portland fans.
All right. Let's see what else we got here.
Play it.
McCain says that Obama's choices are responsible for the Orlando attack.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Clearly, John McCain has realized that he may have gone a little bit too far in his comments to reporters just a little while ago. Now, I'll read to you exactly what he said. He was being approached, asked about this gun control debate, asked about the Orlando shooting, and he made some very, very strong comments. He was asked if Obama was directly responsible for the shooting in Orlando. And what he said was that Barack Obama...
Okay. Obama is not, like, you can say Obama bears some responsibility somehow. He is president, whatever. He's going to get blamed for shit that happens in America. But you can't say Barack Obama is directly responsible. The only person who's directly responsible is Omar Mateen, who decided to go in there and shoot a bunch of people with a fucking AR-15, I think.
Who let Grandpa McCain out of the nursing home? Like, why is this even news? Like, why is he speaking?
He's still a senator. Still a senator. Still one of the most powerful men in the country.
Aren't we done with McCain?
No.
I wish we were.
No. I mean, he has a lot of influence, too. He's been on the Senate for longer than most people at this point.
Fucking Popeye-looking motherfucker.
He is directly responsible for it because when he pulled everybody out of Iraq, Al-Qaeda went to Syria, became ISIS, and ISIS is what it is today thanks to Barack Obama's...
You know, the majority of Americans wanted to get out of Iraq, right? Like, Obama did something that was extremely popular. Not many people were still making the case, like, we need to stay here. We still need to be here. I mean, do you have any idea how much fucking money this war has already cost and is continuing to cost even now? Like, it's in the... I think the fucking estimates are it's going to cost us, like, $7 trillion. It's like $6 or $7 trillion. So, do you think it would have been more responsible for Obama to continue that? To continue wasting trillions of dollars fucking trying to rule over some Middle East fucking territory where the people don't want us there? Where we're being killed constantly? You know? We should never went there in the fucking first place if you and your fucking retarded Republican friends hadn't dragged us into this fucking conflict. ISIS never would have rose, because Saddam Hussein, he wouldn't have put up with no fucking ISIS bullshit. Those motherfuckers would have been gassed. They'd have found themselves being the ones beheaded. But instead, we got this bullshit. And it's you know, there was not ever going to be an opportune moment to pull out of Iraq, okay? There was not going to be a moment where it's like, all right, if we pull out now, everything will be fine. Like, it's just too fucked up. It's too fucked up for that. But we don't have the time to be trying to build two fucking countries up. We're trying to keep our own shit together. We're like a fucking heroin junkie trying to be a fucking drug counselor to a meth head. It's like, we got our own fucking problems. You're such a stupid fuck, John McCain. You fucking old senile bat.
He also spent like half of a decade in a prison camp. So I think in some
we need
ways...
to send him back.
I think in some ways he's probably got some mental issues from that. I mean, who wouldn't?
This is a dude who, when he was running for president, fucking sang a song, bomb, 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 Iran. It's like, no, you're not good presidential material. Go away.
Yeah, you can't just bomb a country.
Shoe with you.
Failures.
If you're running for president, you shouldn't cavalierly sing songs about how you're going to bomb someplace.
Failures, he said,
Just
by
saying.
pulling everybody out of Iraq, thinking that conflicts end because just when you leave. So the responsibility for it, he said, lies with President Obama and his, quote, failed policies.
Really?
Now, when he was asked a follow-up question by other reporters, he didn't back down. He said, because Obama pulled every...
Okay, that's kind of bullshit. He actually did back down from the directly thing. He's like, you know, I shouldn't have said directly. So McCain at least did have the presence of mind to be like, I didn't mean he directly did it. I just meant his policies, whatever, you know. So yeah, he did. It's not accurate to say he like doubled down or whatever, you know. CNN, what do you fucking
everybody
expect?
out of Iraq, and I predicted at the time that ISIS would go unchecked and there would be attacks on the United States of America. It's a matter of record, he said. He said, so he is directly responsible. Now, John McCain later put out a tweet, as you mentioned, said, well, he didn't mean the president, I meant his national security decisions. And he later put out a much more expansive statement. I'll read you just,
so they are
just
covering
part
that,
of
then.
his statement here.
Cool.
He said that I misspoke. That was the first thing he said. He said, I do not mean to imply that the president was personally responsible. He said, I was referring to the president's national security decisions, not the president himself. Again, reiterating his opposition to the president's Iraq policies and how he's withdrawn.
Yeah, so whatever. John McCain's a retard. The end.
It's true.
This is a trigger warning. Hillary Clinton hits are imminent.
A lot of people say that's annoying.
Fuck that.
We don't give a shit. It's supposed to be annoying.
That is a job.
Oh, horrible.
It demands a calm, collected, and dignified response to these
Fucking
kinds
bearded
of
dragon-looking
events.
bitch.
Disarm your bodyguards. If you're so anti-gun, bitch, disarm your
Who is this?
bodyguards.
Who's talking
Someone
to us?
commenting over it.
Neat.
Yeah, we don't even have to watch it. I just wanted an excuse to play the Hillary trigger warning.
Okay. She is a hideous monster.
Here's Alex Jones. Pussified reporter claims AR-15 gave him PTSD. I think this is Alex Jones. Yeah, it is.
What's with the sperm in his logo? I always wonder about that.
Well, makes him thirsty.
Without further ado, though, let's go to this piece where Tim and I were talking about this yesterday, but we didn't have the video, so I thought I'd actually intersperse the video with little girls shooting 223s, shooting M4s or 5.56, depending on whether you're talking about NATO or civilian, without getting into all the little numbers games. Here's the video, first of some little girls shooting the evil Bushmaster, the evil AR-15, the evil M4 that people claim is so dangerous and kicks so hard. Because the truth is they know it doesn't kick, and it's perfect for women. It's perfect for everybody. So they can demonize that frontline #1 weapon. Then they can demonize them all. And
I can't believe these fucking liberals are trying to characterize the AR-15 as being dangerous.
I know.
I mean,
Or
what a
any
bunch
gun,
of
for that
faggots,
matter.
dude. What a bunch of fucking faggots. AR-15 ain't dangerous, y'all. Oh, except for when it's used to murder 50 people. Then it is. But,
bring them all down, bring down all semi-autos, and then later get your bolt actions and single shots as well. And then we play this New York Daily News reporter acting about how freaked out he is after he went into a gun range and shot a gun. But they don't even really show that because who knows if they even did it. Here it is.
Nice shot, Abby. Right to the right of the bullseye. Good shot, baby.
You're hot. Finger off the trigger. How did that feel?
Pretty good.
Excellent. Okay, let's see it again. Good trigger discipline.
child soldiers in America.
You're a radio listener. That looks like a 4-year-old clip. They're having to find it, so I'll play it later and put it together with you talking about it on the nightly news. But describe this clip.
It's the embodiment, it's the personification of the neutering of what it means to be a man. So this guy goes and shoots an M4 at the range, and he has this catastrophic, nearly traumatic event while he's trying to shoot an M4. It's 223. This is what I let like my 10-year-olds shoot.
Why? I have a question. Why are all these children shooting AR-15s? Like, why is that necessary?
It's not necessary.
I mean, like, I don't, whatever, I guess, fine, but,
I would say at least they're being supervised, like their parents aren't letting them just, like, run around with them on their own, but I don't really see the point.
Yeah, I mean, like, I would figure, like, I'd at least want, if I was, like, a gun person and I had kids, I feel like I'd want them to at least be, like, 13 or 14 before I started introducing them to the world of guns. Like, I don't feel like, kids should just, be like 10 years old and shit shooting guns. I certainly don't think like little fucking 4 and 5-year-olds should be like shooting fucking deadly weapons and shit. Just strikes me as odd. I'm saying, whatever. If you want to do that, it's free country, but
It's America, Chi-J.
Strikes me as a little strange. That's all I'm saying.
This is America, Chi-J.
Ain't that America? Something blah. Yeah. So let's watch this reporter have a breakdown, I guess. All right, yeah, your kid can shoot a gun. Who gives a shit? Yeah. Next.
Video of a 5-year-old or 6-year-old shooting.
It's just a little bit bigger than a 22.
There's no kick.
No kick at all.
Not if you push it into your shoulder.
Nothing. So he shoots this gun a couple of times, and he's like, the concussion, the gases, the smell of it all. It was so overwhelming. I had post-traumatic stress for hours after it.
He's trying to create a phobia.
Exactly.
So people don't do it. I mean, I'm not the super...
It does sound like this person was overreacting. I mean...
who
if
knows?
it was that bad, why would you keep firing it?
I mean, this reporter could just be like a pussy. He's a real sensitive guy. Like, oh, no, guns scare me or whatever. But, probably he's just milking it. Probably just like... he knows that his liberal readers ain't never shot no fucking gun, so he gets to tell them, like, it's so scary, and it's so traumatizing, and it's so bad.
It's scary and traumatizing to have it shot at you.
Yeah, that's the scary, traumatizing part, not sitting there shooting it, I feel like getting shot with it is probably more traumatizing.
Yes.
Assuming you live. Because if you die, then it's really not traumatic.
Soldier, but I sit there and fire 100 rounds with a 50 cal handheld.
Look at Alex Jones.
What a man! These guys are like can't shoot a 223.
I don't know if they've been like actually emasculated or if they're just trying to demonstrate to the world how weak Americans are. I mean, it seems like it's intentional. He's like, no. It's not cool to go and work hard and to go train and go shoot.
Okay, look, Alex Jones sitting there firing his big fucking dick gun over and over again is every bit as embarrassing as this guy's fucking article.
Exactly.
So, I mean, like, you guys just fucking jump whatever fucking... You haven't jumped the shark because you were never good, but... Even in the context of your own show, you just jumped the shark a little there with that shit. Like, why'd you even show that Alex Jones clip? If you guys had any self-awareness, you'd realize how ridiculous and absurd that looked and left that the fuck out.
The fucking face he was making as he was firing it, too. Like, he was just, like, mowing down an advancing horde of barbarians. You know, like, oh, God, you're hip-firing a 50 cal, you retard.
It looked ridiculous. It looked absolutely ridiculous.
It's better just to be like the biggest sissy on the planet that can't even shoot a 223 because it hurts my shoulder and the gases and seeing the brass fly out. It's traumatizing. I can't take it.
Well, that's like these social justice warriors that see the chalk on the ground and start freaking out and convulsing.
Like, I'm sorry, what do you give a shit about someone else's feet? Like, someone tried my hobby and they didn't like it. Fuck them. Who gives a shit? Who fucking gives a shit?
Everybody's like that. What should the country do about gun owners or gun buyers who shouldn't have the guns?
Tough question.
The sheer firepower of those kind of weapons is absolutely awesome. My ears are still ringing and we had serious sound protection. It's a very dangerous weapon in the wrong hands, as Frank said, and keeping it out of the wrong hands is the challenge.
I mean, we have these incredibly domesticated morons at the New York Daily News just ninnying around, and then it doesn't show him even shoot on the video.
Because he was too busy crying in fear the whole time.
Yeah. Maybe, yeah. It's kind of weird they didn't show him shoot it, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Whatever.
Yeah, like, whatever. This guy is too sensitive if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you know, he's got no dick to swing, and you guys are just swinging your dicks around way too hard.
It wasn't like he was on the battlefield. He was in, like, a closed, like, gun range where no harm could have came to him whatsoever, unless he's just, like, a total retard. Like, looks down the barrel and pulls the trigger or something.
I've heard of people I've heard of morons like walking down the lane to go get their target and shit while people are still firing around them and shit.
Wow.
I read recently, you know, wasn't some kid killed at a fucking gun range or something? I mean, it happens. There are dumb people everywhere.
I mean, you know, people are stupid. Stupid people get guns. They fucking end up killing themselves because they're stupid. What you gonna do? Hopefully it'll happen to Alex Jones at some point. God, I want Alex Jones to die at a gun range so bad now. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that just be great? You know, if he fucking makes this report, and then he goes to the gun range to do his I shoot stuff, and then, you know, something happens and he gets his fucking lack of brains blown out of his fucking empty fucking skull.
Maybe he'll be shooting another dick swinging promo of him hip firing a 50 caliber rifle and it'll backfire or something, blow his hands off, and he'll have to do his fucking show with stumps for the rest of his life. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would enjoy that.
Yeah, did you hear that a judge denied Jesse Ventura his settlement against Chris Kyle's estate?
That's weird. Why?
Yeah. Probably because Chris Kyle was an American hero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he already won that shit.
He did win, but look.
Jesse Ventura's $1.8 million defamation award denied in his American Sniper book case.
Yep.
Huh. Ex-professional wrestler Jesse Ventura won't be awarded the $1.8 million judgment a jury decided to give him in 2014 as a result of a defamation case against the estate of Chris Kyle, who had written disparagingly about a person resembling Ventura in his memoir American Sniper. Famed for his pro wrestling career, Ventura moved on to politics. He served as a governor. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, it's just funny that they start off saying ex-professional wrestler when he was the fucking governor of a state.
Well, he was an ex-professional wrestler first.
He was first, but he's more known as the governor.
What is the reason for denying this? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't see it in that paragraph. Interviews, blah, 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 blah. Minnesota Star Tribune, U.S. Okay, here we go. American Sniper judgment saying the $1.35 million Ventura was awarded for unjust enrichment did not comply with Minnesota state law. The jury in the lower court also awarded Ventura $500,000 for defamation. The appeals court also threw out that judgment, but sent it back to the lower court for retrial. I don't understand the reason for this dismissal. Apparently they said something about it violating Minnesota state law. I don't know.
Weird.
Probably just because Chris Kyle's an American hero.
Yeah, that's what
like
I was
said.
saying. Yeah.
Chris Kyle's a hero. He shot people. He's a hero. All right. Whatever.
Yeah.
How heroic. My hero.
What a hero, man.
Motherfucker was a lying, tall tale telling motherfucker.
He was.
And he was killed at a gun range. That's kind of funny.
That's what made me think of that.
Yeah.
Because we were just talking about Alex Jones at the gun range.
Yeah.
I once killed a screaming Al Qaeda member while doing a backflip off of a dump truck in Fallujah.
It was awesome. Should have seen me. Chris Kyle.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Yep.
I've been waiting for you, Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Here we go. Let the coughing commence.
Yeah, here we go.
Mercy finding.
I am altering the deed. Pray I will alter it in person.
Hi. Why can't it ever just be smooth? One of these days, man. One of these
Perhaps
fucking
you
days.
think you're being treated unfairly.
Yes, I do. It's not fair. Every fucking time I hit you, Vader, you do this to me. What's wrong with you? You're mean.
Destiny.
What? Destiny's Child? What's going on? I don't see how that is applicable.
It's your destiny.
It's my destiny. All right, hold on now. All right, I'm gonna hit it. I'm not gonna cough. I'm not gonna fucking cough.
No, you're going over the edge.
Let me
TJ.
shut up. Let me get all the coughing on my system. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Shut up, Paul. You're not even here, you faggot. Okay. That was oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you, Vader, you piece of shit.
I love watching Ben hit Vader the most because Ben goes through like a very visible decision-making process. Like he hits it, he looks very calm, and then he just kind of nods his head and starts coughing. Like he's like, "Yep, gonna cough."
The Ben nod, man.
Don't fail me again.
Whatever, fuck you.
I won't, Lord Vader. Next time I'm in studio, man, I'm gonna hit you smooth. I'm gonna dust that fucking bowl, exhale a giant fucking mushroom cloud of smoke, and sit there like a man, Vader. I will
Most
make you proud.
impressive.
Yes. Yes.
Fuck. All right, whatever. Everyone's dead.
Wow. Ugh.
Ben just almost puked.
Yeah.
He burped a little bit. I heard it,
Yeah.
dude.
Shit.
What
Ugh.
gonna do?
Let's do Brian Fisher says we are smarter than the smartest people in this country.
What?
You know, the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, we are smarter than the cultural elites. And you know that, listening to this program, we play their sound bites, we compare it to the truth. You know that we are smarter than the smartest people in this country. We have more insight.
You're not even smarter than us, a stupid ragtag group of fucking stoners. You're fucking among the dumbest people on the face of the planet. That's why you play your videos, because they're so easy to defeat and they're laughable in their badness. But I guess to your audience, they like to hear that they're smart for liking this fucking horse shit, so whatever.
We have more wisdom than the most highly educated, the most influential people in our culture. Why? Because we're smart? No. Because God is smart. Whoa. That's why we know more than they do, because God is smart, and we listen to him, and the cultural elites do not.
Wow. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't. That refutes itself. Just whatever.
Yeah.
Wow. We just had all we had to do was just play it. Just show. There you go, people. Have fun with that. Unfunny comedian, y'all.
Every time, man.
Fuck.
Every time I see that unfunny comedian, man, I just can't help.
I love it.
He doesn't really belong there.
Yeah, he's not crazy like,
but he's great to be there.
Yep.
He just has such shit luck that he would end up in the fucking crazy bin, you know? Even though he's not crazy.
Let's watch that regressive presents thing.
What?
No.
What is it?
Hold on.
When he's not busy grazing, Cenk Uygur leads one of our most illustrious regressive teams, the Young Turks. They share their name with a group who paved the way for World War I's Armenian genocide, also known as the Armenian Holocaust, where the Ottoman government enacted the planned extermination of 1.5 million Armenians. Cenk has denied this genocide in the past, but in a recent
Wait, so what? Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you call your fucking self, like, we're the fucking techno cowboys, you know, the cowboys massacred the Indian, like, okay, there's blood on every fucking group's hands, you go back far enough, who gives a shit? Armenian genocide, I mean, like, yeah, it's bad. Any genocide, like, pretty much any genocide is bad, I think.
The ironic thing is
90% of genocide is terrible.
The ironic thing is that his co-host, Anna Kasparian, is Armenian. She's still alive, so the genocide must not have been that bad, huh? System of a Down is Armenian. Yeah.
Plenty of Armenians still around. They didn't get genocided. It was a near genocide. Quit acting like it was a full-on genocide,
fuck.
Armenians.
It's still bad.
You pussies. As long as there's enough of you left to fucking keep breeding, you're all right. Walk it off, Armenia. Walk it off.
Walk off the genocide, you pussies.
I love that we could talk this way about the Armenian genocide, but if we did it about the Holocaust, people are like, whoa, crossing the line. Jews are more important than Armenians in the social order, so it's okay to fucking diss on some Armenians, but if you diss on the Jews, you're in trouble.
Apology. He changed his position of denial to one of non-confirmation.
Cool.
Sometimes you just can't tell with those pesky Holocausts. Certain bold opinions like these mean that Cenk has no pathological need for affirmation. Right?
Right.
Oh, he uses right as a rhetorical device. That means he has a pathological need for constant affirmation. Actually, the fact that he's a presenter or an entertainer or whatever the fuck you want to call him, that's the proof that he has a need for affirmation.
TJ is defending Cenk Uygur.
I'm a regressive.
Regressive cuck.
You're aggressive. You're aggressive. You're only supposed to point out when things don't make sense.
Hold on.
Okay, here we go.
And here's a clip from a recent episode of the Drunken Peasants where the master of the cuckolds, the beta male himself, TJ, makes it easy by defending the fat brown buffalo, Cenk Uygur. It's so easy. Oh, TJ. Oh, why do you make it so easy to make my content? Thanks for the $6.66, you fucking cuck.
No problem, master.
Right.
I'm not
saying that's right.
That is pretty funny. I was here earlier. I didn't know that the show had gotten pushed back a little bit, and AIU was actually in our chat
Oh, was he?
He was just typing like, "Bow down and worship me, you regressive nerds. Bow down and worship my presence." I was like, "What? Like, what's the like? What are you doing? Like, what's the point?"
Bow down, dude. He wants people bowing before him.
Hey, if people actually do it, then it it works.
Bow down to AIU. Bow before him. Talk about a need for affirmation, right?
Whoops. How'd that clip get in there? We'll make sure that editor gets fired straight away. He was probably racist or homophobic or something anyway. And regressive does not use those terms lightly. Oh wait, yes we do. So what are the Young Turks all about really? Well, they're what might be classified as Fox News for left-wingers. They're all about false balance reporting.
I wouldn't say they're at the level of Fox News, which is like an actual cable channel.
No.
I would say MSNBC is more like that.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, Fox News is basically Republican Party news, and MSNBC is basically Democratic Party news. It's not really so much right and left; it's just the two parties,
Right.
Which I guess is the right and left in America.
I would say the Young Turks aren't even really like news. They react to the news, basically.
Yeah, that's all the news. That's all the news does, though. Too.
They're like the news is news, basically.
If they're the news, then we're the news, I guess.
We're the news.
Yeah, guys.
Don't get your news
legitimate.
from us. Don't get your news from us.
Yeah.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, especially like, not many news outlets would be reporting like Brett Keane ate a big bowl of chili.
Well, we're telling the people what they need to know. Dude, I hear people call drama alert news, so we can get away with it. Fuck it, man. I've seen that guy report on like practically nothing.
Yeah. Somebody said something mean about somebody else's girlfriend on Twitter. Let's get right into the news. Okay.
Please don't ever do that again.
Why not?
Annoying. It's annoying enough when I had to hear him do it. I've seen exactly one episode of that show, and I pretty much know exactly what it's all about, and I know I hate it, and I know that everyone involved with it just should be killed.
Why do we hate it though? Because I've been such a fan of YouTube and internet drama for so long. Why is a show that covers all the drama so hateable?
It's for the same reason that news on a 24-hour cycle is bullshit. Because when there ain't no real drama going on, you got to make up some bullshit up. Like you got to try to stir the pot and like try to make mountains out of molehills and shit. Drama's cool if it's like some organic drama that fucking formed and it's like legit. But when you have to sit there and be like, ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, what's going on there? Then you're just a fucking gossip rag, and I don't give a shit.
I see.
Said the blind man. Anyway, I guess we're kind of, we're off this topic anyway. This video sucks. I hate the Young Turks too, but this is not clever. This is not good. This is not making good arguments. This is not biting satire. This is just fucking boring, trivial shit.
Guys, if you know of any videos that you want us to play on the show, go to our Facebook page.
We got a video deficit, y'all. We're running out of videos.
That's not true. But we could use better ones.
There's nothing on the internet left.
There's nothing left. Yeah, we ran out of the internet.
You guys can submit video. Like, if you're the kind of person who bitches about like there being too much of one thing or too much of the other, fuck you unless you're sending us shit. And also, if there's shit that we're not covering that you want to see some other fucking kind of shit, whatever, send it to us. Yeah, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be along the lines of shit we already play. Like, you can send us shit that, I don't know if they'll play this. Well, why don't you send it to us and fucking see? Just make sure it's interesting. Here's the criteria that we really need to establish. The videos, they can be bad, but they shouldn't be the kind of bad where everyone's fucking going into a goddamn coma from them.
Yeah. They can be like cringy, like we're like, oh, like that, but it can't be like that.
Because there's not much we can do with that shit. There's not much we can do with a really boring video where this guy just kind of...
The only ones like that we can watch are Brett Keane, because for whatever reason, his boringness is endearing in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many videos we watch where it's like, they got some incendiary title, incendiary comment, like, in this video, I'm going to argue that Jews are aliens. But then the first fucking 10 minutes of the video is just nothing.
Just
doesn't even touch
hey guys,
upon the topic.
Got my new camera here. Maybe a little out of focus, so I'm sorry for that. Some of you were complaining too in the last video about my audio quality, so I've worked on that a little. Oh Jesus, please don't. Like, if a video starts that way, don't even bother. Like, even if it's the most like shocking shit ever, if it starts that way, no.
Yeah, Theodore Shubat knows what he's doing, man.
Yep.
Theodore fucking Shubat.
Fuck the Jews. Fuck the Muslims. Fuck the Jews. Gas them all. Gas them all. Gas the gays.
All right.
Gas the faggots.
Here's a good video to watch. I'll just let it play.
Cool.
What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Tommy Sotomayor.
And I'm driving.
What am I doing?
Driving.
I'm driving to Vegas. And what am I going to do? Let you guys see a lot of what's out here. It's beautiful out here, although the drive is very long and boring.
It's really not that beautiful. I mean, it's just like
there are some beautiful places.
Well, I've been on the drive from fucking LA to Vegas, and it ain't no beautiful drive.
This is the drive from like Arizona to Vegas.
Whatever. It's just fucking. I've driven through these states a bunch of times.
Sure.
It's pretty fucking repetitive. It pretty much always is, though, no matter where you're fucking driving, honestly. Right. See, they're like
trees,
there's a bunch of trees,
farm,
or there's a bunch of farms, or there's a bunch of desert, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, mountains.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Mountain roads can be kind of like scenic, but of course, then they're like a total pain in the ass because you're always turning.
Yeah, runaway truck lane.
Yeah. Runaway truck lane. That's a scary thought, you know.
Yeah, they have them.
I know.
I was driving through the mountains in Colorado one time, and I saw those. Like, if a truck can't stop, they have to just drive down this crazy, unpaved lane.
I saw a truck use one on the Grapevine once when I was a kid. We were driving to LA, and I saw a fucking truck that's brakes got overheated and went out, and I saw it use the fucking lane.
Crazy.
Plowed into the fucking gravel at the end of it. It was crazy.
Damn.
Now, I want to talk to you guys about a video I put up a minute ago, and I want to kind of give a thanks. Not a minute ago, I put it up yesterday. In the video, I spoke about the relationship with a lot of gays and their fathers, and why most of the people who I saw being interviewed had poor relationships with their father or non-existent relationships with their father.
You don't know
And
that.
if
How do you
that
know
played
that?
anything-
How do you know what these people's relationships with their fathers were? Because they called their mom, they were going to die. They have a terrible fucking father relationship. Like, you're just like, you're pulling your entire video out of your ass. Anything you say beyond now is just a premise that you've made up in your fucking mind.
Yeah, and I would say even if the premise was correct that they have bad relationships with their fathers, like, don't you think it's more likely to correlate the other way around? Like, it's, you're trying to make the case like they didn't have fathers, so they fucking turned out gay. It's like maybe the fact that they're gay has something to do with why they have a strained relationship with their fathers. Like, a lot of fathers don't like that shit. So, yeah, I mean, like, false premise, and then even within the premise, it's flawed. So even when you're making bullshit up, you still can't get it right.
Part in their homosexuality or not. And I want to give a shout out and a thanks to most of the people in the LGBTQ community who saw that video. Because these people not only saw that video, but they actually engaged in a real conversation. They didn't go off, they didn't name call. Well, of course there were some. But the majority of people actually
Like the
engaged in the
Peasants.
conversation and spoke about some things that I didn't know. Like from a few of them who were outed homosexuals, they said, well, mothers are actually more caring and more understanding of their homosexual sons than fathers are. And I didn't know that. I'm putting the phone
Wait,
down.
did you just say you didn't know that? Like,
wow.
I mean, what?
You've been living under a rock.
What
in that
zeitgeist
desert
are
you're
you
driving
attached
through?
to? I just don't even. I don't like. I mean, okay, I guess whatever. I mean, you don't know that. Fine.
I think I see a police officer, but I didn't know that. I never heard of this. So to hear that, I think was very interesting, and maybe some of you guys can elaborate on that. But I didn't know that fathers were less tolerant of their sons.
Okay, like, have you ever been around men and like heard them talk with each other, and I know you've heard guys standing around be like, man, them fucking faggots, dude. You gotta be fucking whatever, I ain't got nothing against them, just don't be fucking doing that faggot shit around me, Like, you hear shit like that, doesn't that kind of like clue you in that this kind of exists? Like, just it
would make sense, because fathers, especially if they're so quote unquote manly fathers and they want their children to follow after their footsteps, then of course it would be a little bit sad for them, because they would feel like it was a knock against their manhood, maybe something they did wrong, and their friends would look at them kind of funny because, well, their kid is kind of funny. But the fact that people were willing to engage this conversation lets me want to say, and I'll turn around and let you guys see this again, just to say thank you guys for having that conversation with me. Because
let me see what again? What am I looking at?
Some shitty fucking highway town in the middle of the fucking desert.
Yeah, like some town that you fucking stop in to get gas, and then you fucking just look around and like, man, I'm glad I don't live in this shithole, and you keep going.
Because you didn't have to.
Like, why do I want to see that shit?
Like a lot of people who talk to me about issues where you could have just gotten mad, name called, and left it at that. So maybe this can open more doors to more real discourse between people, and you won't have as many incidences.
Because that's what Tommy's all about, y'all. Discourse.
Yeah, Tommy's all about that open discourse, man.
He loves it.
Free exchange of ideas.
When he's not trying to silence us, then he's about discourse.
But like you had in Orlando, where people are afraid, because that's probably going to be my next video to talk about.
I guess you are lucky that the gay people that you insulted with that last video aren't like you and don't immediately just file false DMCAs when somebody says something they don't like. Huh. It's funny watching Tommy work out his worldview from behind the seat of a fucking car. Like, you'd think about this shit before you turn the camera on, but no, you telling me men are less accepting of their gay children than women are? Crazy. I didn't know that.
The killing was undercover gay. Like, when you can't come out, or you're ashamed to come out,
you're telling me that the sun actually, that the Earth actually goes around the sun?
Whoa.
Because I always thought it was the other way around, I mean, I never heard that. No one ever told me that.
I mean, I'm standing still. I'm not moving. I always thought we was just sitting there.
People who have a problem with the things that I say. There's no reason to argue and fight and all of this crap about the things that I say. Either you agree or you disagree. And we can disagree like adults. But it seems like today, we don't want to disagree or agree like adults. We want to name call and fight and do all kinds of dumb stuff and threaten each other.
You can't make videos where you just like attack a group of people, and then when they attack you back, you're like, they're being uncivil to me. No, you fuck with them first. And you're I don't know if you've seen your videos. I mean, like this video, I mean, whatever, it seems like you're trying to strike a more conciliatory attitude. Maybe this is genuine. I severely doubt it. Fine. But in the past, Tommy Sotomayor kind of says things that are designed to rile people up, and he is not scared to fucking name call people. He's not scared to fucking make generalizations about entire groups of people. He's not scared of any of that. He doesn't worry about that whatsoever. So for you to sit there and be like, man, these motherfuckers just can't have a discourse, it's laughable, dude. It's fucking laughable.
Apparently,
he really is the Black Brett Keane.
Apparently, we did get a new segment. I just haven't gotten a link to download it or anything, but I found it here.
Let's watch it. So they sent it Tuesday.
Something doesn't match. I'm wearing sunglasses, but in there I'm
Okay. Yes.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the explosion at the end solidified it for me.
You know, I was expecting something more epic. I'll be honest.
What?
I was
wanted
expecting.
shit
I wanted.
flying
I don't know,
everywhere.
man. I just felt like more shit needed to be going on. I feel like they need some of that news music, like you know, kind of like some crazy shit, and like, you know, fucking more explosion. One explosion at the end, that's not enough. There needs to be like little explosions happening all over the place, and like, you know, I don't know, man. I just fucking feel like it should be more epic. It should be 10 times more epic. Doesn't even necessarily need to be Runny Lump, man. I mean, like, anybody can make it. Send us your fucking epic ass news intro. We don't care. I want fucking the most epic intro to the news segment possible. I want it to be as good as the intro to the fucking show itself. God damn it. I want explosions. I want tits. I want guns. I want nuns. I want clowns. Whipped cream.
Guns and nuns.
Pies being thrown at people's asses. I want craziness, God damn it. It's the fucking
unfunny
news,
comedian.
bitch.
Yeah. Throw
Toss him
unfunny
in there
somewhere. Yeah.
Make him fucking pop out of a pumpkin.
What?
I don't know. He just pops out of a pumpkin and he's naked.
He does the truffle shuffle.
Maybe he's got some
Yes.
pumpkin seeds obstructing his cock or whatever, you know? Who knows? Just go crazy with it, man. Be creative. We like that kind of shit. Anyway.
Yeah.
Fuck Tommy Sotomayor. What's up?
Got a few minutes left in the show.
Let's play one more.
All right. Which one is good? How about this one?
Okay.
You don't understand relativism?
I guess not.
Hello, I'm the Amazing Atheist, and welcome back to another video.
Hello, Amazing Atheist. I'm the Distributist, and I'm doing this response video.
Sorry, what? Your name is the Distributist? I thought he said the Distributist. Is that what he said?
Distributist. I don't know.
Distributist?
Whatever. What a terrible
Okay.
fucking name.
Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
On absolutely no sleep. Probably a little bit of a departure from the
Me too.
typical cold, dispassionate tone the channel takes. But hey, let's take a look at what the Amazing Atheist thinks of objective morality.
Rock on.
As some of you know, I believe
I really pissed off some retards with this one, man. I really did.
morality is ultimately subjective, but before we get into that, I'd just like to say something ironic and self-defeating like, let's watch some videos and criticize other people's subjective assessments of morality.
An apt description of most of TJ's content, and this would be par for the course, but apparently in this...
You just burp a little there? That's cute. No, this would be par for the course. Yeah, okay. I mean, I do it. I'll burp proudly into the mic. Yeah, no problem. Nice. I don't give a shit. I could do it better, but yeah.
Particular clip, TJ the Amazing Atheist is actually satirizing a web cartoon taking issue with his constant flip-flopping on the question of subjective and objective morality.
There's never been any flip-flopping. I've never stated that I believe in objective morality. I mean, if I have, then I certainly don't remember. I don't know what the fuck I was smoking. It wasn't weed, though.
Most people who watch this channel know that I have very, very little patience for what I like to call the Hitchens two-step, where an atheist will start out by claiming to be a total subjectivist and assert that morality has no validity outside the human mind and it is purely preferential. And then in the very next sentence, he'll go on to decry the moral atrocities and perversity of the religions and religious people of the past.
Okay, just because my morality, me saying my morality is subjective doesn't make it no longer my morality. I still am going to criticize things I think are immoral. I just don't think I'm doing so from a vantage point of absolute correctness. Isn't that fucking insane? I just don't assume that what I believe and my values just happen to be the one true values in the universe. I mean, come on! Give me a fucking break! You guys, these objective morality people are fucking retarded! They don't make good arguments! This is shit! This is dog shit!
if you don't believe in objective morality, you have no right to criticize things in the world that you think are wrong, TJ. You know this, right?
I mean, this is akin to saying, film tastes are subjective, so how can you possibly have an argument over what's better between Citizen Kane and Beverly Hills Chihuahua? I mean, like, it's. Do you see how dumb that is? Do you see how dumb you are? Please stop making videos. You're not intelligent. No one cares what you have to say.
I missed a lot, apparently.
These objective morality people piss me off, dude. They're so dumb. They're so frustrating. Because it's just the same as the other guy. Real smug tone, real condescending attitude, and then the arguments they bring are such fucking dog shit that you're like, why would you come to me all confident with this horse shit? A fucking 2-year-old could tear this apart.
It's total hypocrisy, and
no,
see it even in intellectuals that I deeply respect, like Sargon of Akkad and Vernaculus. But good grief, the insufferability of people like the Amazing Atheist. It doesn't even appear
well,
like...
apparently we just natural-born fucking enemies, because from where I'm sitting, the insufferable one is your fucking ass, Mr. Bustribulus. Or the fuck your name is. I'm the distributor. Yeah, Stupidity, come down. Coming here, talking to you. Yep. I'm talking about the objective morality now. You know, gonna be going.
Is he using Teddy Roosevelt?
Yeah, looks that way.
With riding a horse with flames coming out of his dick as he rides. Like what?
What is going on? There's like ones and zeros in the background.
And there's a computer.
There's some deep symbolism going on here, but no one's ever going to care enough to even attempt to figure it out unless they're insane.
He's put in the time to really consider his arguments.
Okay.
He just understands that these are the convenient ones to make from the atheist perspective, so he's going to make them. I mean, there's no way he'd contradict himself in the course of a 10-minute video, is there? I mean, he's defending himself from an alt-right webcomic. This should be easy, right? There's not really an intellectual pushback on the other side, TJ.
So let's take a look at what Mr. Panel...
there's not an intellectual pushback from you either. Let's take a look at my contradiction,
I don't know his real name, has written here.
It's curious that for the host of a podcast where they do nothing but offer criticism of the absurd views of other people, the Amazing Atheist believes the realm of morality to be subjective. Despite negating the value of his own critique, the show approaches its 300th episode.
Wait a minute.
The basis for much of...
I just realized something. This guy believes in objective morality, and you believe in objective morality, but you just characterize his comic as some alt-right shit that should be easy to defeat. So you obviously don't agree with him. You guys have totally different moral systems, but you agree with him that morality is objective. I mean, and I'm the one who's riddled with contradictions? Come on. It's too easy. You make it too easy. Do the too easy thing, Paul. Come on.
Oh, too easy, TJ. Why do you make it so easy?
There you go.
Their reasoning, as was pointed out by show guest Milo Yiannopoulos, is their anecdotal experience and emotional responses to personal injustices.
Yep. Well, it looks like even a broken clock is right twice a day, because the alt-right seems to have two things they have realized about TJ's show that are very accurate, despite the nuanced differences between...
They're accurate. Cool.
Between the Drunken Peasants and TJ the Amazing Atheist as intellectual properties, the content is largely divided between anecdotal complaints about things that happened in TJ's and his guests' lives. And
what? I mean, yeah, I occasionally do a video. I mean, like, my personal life is not usually where I draw my material from. Like, it's not typically like, you know, observational humor from that perspective of like, oh, you know, lines are weird. I mean, occasionally I'll do that kind of stuff, but mostly I use like news and fucking YouTube videos and crazy discussions that are going on in like popular culture or internet culture or the zeitgeist or wherever. So that's not an accurate characterization. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be so pedantic about it, but...
then a casting of aspersions upon other people's moral point of views.
Yeah.
Of course, the former is just a content complaint that can be thrown away. But I'd say the latter definitely provides some ideological contradictions, dare I say, from a person who constantly asserts that morality is subjective. Something to think about, but... TJ, the Amazing Atheist, has an excellent response to both points.
Milo also failed to realize that anecdotal evidence actually can be used to defeat absolutes. For instance, if someone says, all X's support Y, all you need is one example of an X opposing Y to prove that statement false.
Wait, what? TJ just made a great point there. This is being recorded? I mean, this is amazing. I was doing an Amazing Atheist critique. I thought I would just be pointing out contradictions left and right. Wow. We'll have to save this. So people, let's remember this phrase. I mean, just in case it comes in handy later.
But we're really distracting ourselves from the biggest problem with this opening paragraph, aside...
This video is 19 minutes long. We're probably not going to get to that other shoe dropping, y'all. But
that sucks.
The name of the video is Amoral Anecdotes, How the Amazing Atheist Doesn't Understand Relativism. So if he pwns me, you guys can let me know. But for now, the show's over, I guess.
Yeah,
Scotty's here. He wants us to fucking stop. He's pissed. He's pissed off.
Damn.
Gotta go. Give us a thumbs up. Thanks to Dave Rubin for being on here earlier. And subscribe to our channel and all that bullshit. The end.
See you guys Monday.
Oh, yeah, and the private show's tomorrow. So.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, Paul. Forgot about that.
I gotta go get some booze.
Yeah, you do.
See you then.
Bye.